Chapter 551. After being hit by Chu Bei's finger, Babada's face paled, and a red light the size of a thumb appeared between his eyebrows. "What did you do to me?" Babada seemed to have sensed the change in his brain and looked at Chu Bei in fear. "From now on, your new master is my disciple." Chu Bei's gaze became fierce, and at the same time, he waved his sleeve towards Luo Feng. After that, a red light appeared in Luo Feng's brain, and it was closely connected to the red light between Babada's eyebrows. "Master, this?" Luo Feng looked at Chu Bei in shock. "From now on, its life and death is in your hands. As for any questions you have, you can ask this little guy in the future." Chu Bei glanced at the horned child Babada. How could this be? At this time, Babada finally understood the meaning of the red light in his brain. This was like a one-sided master and servant life and death contract, and he was the servant, and Luo Feng, who had the corresponding imprint, was his master. As a living AI, there is no such thing as betrayal. You are smart, and I believe you will make a wise choice. Chu Bei looked calmly at the horned child. Hearing Chu Bei's words, Babada's body trembled, and he turned around to look at the transparent crystal coffin. After hesitating for a while, he took a deep breath and walked in front of Luo Feng. "Living AI Babada greets my new master." Luo Feng was stunned at first and couldn't help but to look at Chu Bei, and quickly got used to it. "Babada, tell me about your previous master. Also, tell me about the training system." Luo Feng immediately asked the question that he wanted to solve the most. "Yes, master." Babada replied mechanically. "Master, the vast universe is far more vast and mysterious than the planet you are on. According to what is said here, the galaxy you are in is called the Milky Way. And in this vast universe, there are thousands to trillions of galaxies like this. The Milky Way you are in has over 200 billion stars, and the number of planets is even more frightening. Among these countless planets, about 210,000 are inhabited by such life forms. In this universe, the Milky Way, the Beta Galaxy, and the 8 neighboring galaxies together form the Silver Blue Empire, an elementary civilization," Babada explained mechanically. 8 galaxies? Milky Way Empire? Are there really great beings in this world who can travel through the major galaxies? Luo Feng was shocked. "Of course," Babada said confidently and continued. "According to the universe map, this Silver Blue Empire is a part of the Black Dragon Mountain star field. The Black Dragon Mountain star field had a total of 8,000 galaxies, and the one that ruled the Black Dragon Mountain star field was an intermediate-level civilization in the universe, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. And this Silver Blue Empire is a subsidiary country of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire." At this point, Babada's eyes projected a map which depicted a part of the vast universe. Black Dragon Mountain Starfield? Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Luo Feng stared at the map, completely stunned. Looking at the points marked on the map, only then did he truly understand how small the planet he was born on was. "Why don't you first tell me about the training systems in this universe?" Luo Feng seemed to have thought of something and changed the topic. "Master, this training system can be split into the student level, star traveler level, star level, universe level, domain lord level, sector lord level, and the high and mighty undying beings. Among them, every level can be split into 9 levels." Babada looked at Luo Feng and continued to add, "The student level refers to the warriors, warlords, and war gods of your planet. After breaking through to the war god level, it's the star traveler level that I speak of. At this level, one can already adapt to the pressure in the universe and can wander about in the universe. Above the star traveler level is the star traveler level, which is able to calmly face the small black holes in the universe and can be considered to have some ability to protect oneself. Above that is the universe level, which is already considered to be a powerful being. After all, under normal circumstances, only one galaxy can give birth to a universe level. Above the universe level is the domain lord level, which is already considered to be an overlord. Normal low-level civilization countries don't dare to mess with them, as they can build their own power. Looking at the vast universe, every domain lord level fighter is someone that the universe countries try their best to rope in. As for the sector lords above the domain lord level, they have already reached the level where they can form their own world. If one becomes a sector lord, As long as they don't have any ambitions, they can roam the universe freely. Babata looked respectfully at Luo Feng, explaining everything in an orderly manner. Then what about the undying beings? Luo Feng immediately asked. Above the sector lord is the undying beings. Mentioning the undying beings, Babata's expression became incomparably serious. Even though the universe level, domain lord level, and sector lord level can already live for tens of thousands of years, with the passage of time, they will still reach the end of their lives. And after becoming an undying, one can have an unlimited lifespan. As long as one isn't killed by an opponent, then one can live forever. At this point, pride appeared in Babata's eyes. My previous master was an undying being, eternal lifespan. Hearing Babata's words, Luo Feng looked at the corpse in the crystal coffin and couldn't help but to take in a deep breath. Master, which galaxy did you come from? Is it our Milky Way galaxy? Luo Feng looked at Chu Bei. What do you think? Chu Bei smiled and shook his head. Luo Feng was stunned, coming back to his senses and continuing to ask, then is it from the Silver Blue Empire? Chu Bei shook his head again. Luo Feng swallowed his saliva. The even bigger Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Chu Bei shook his head again. Master, don't keep me in suspense. Luo Feng was shocked, but at the same time, his face revealed helplessness. What you know, even if it is this so-called vast universe, perhaps it is still not the end. Perhaps beyond the vast universe you know, there is an even bigger world. Chu Bei looked at Babata, and then at Luo Feng. When you stand at a high enough height, you'll know where I come from. Master, then your strength? Luo Feng opened his mouth to ask again. At this time, Babata's ears perked up, his gaze filled with anticipation. Compared to Luo Feng, he wanted to know more about Chu Bei's strength. After all, he could easily suppress him. However, Chu Bei still didn't answer Luo Feng's question, only smiling naturally. Of course, to this question, Chu Bei himself didn't have an answer. After all, he hadn't exchanged blows with the pinnacle warriors of this large domain. He didn't know his current strength and what level of training he had in this swallowing space. Master, I wonder if you're willing to accept my previous master's inheritance. No, the wealth he left behind. Babata seemed to have thought of something, looking at Chu Bei, immediately asking. Luo Feng didn't immediately reply, instead looking at Chu Bei, seeing the latter nod his head. Only then did he agree to accept Babata's wealth. Rumble. In the next moment, the space began to shake violently, and many dazzling displays began to rise from the ground. Master, the space we're in right now is my previous master's ship. Its name is the Unimo planet ship. He doesn't fear the universe black holes, and can travel freely, able to withstand the attacks of undying fighters. Amidst the rumbling, Luo Feng felt his body continuously rise into the air. The altitude he was at was also changing. Soon, he heard a loud bang beside his ear, as if he had broken through a layer of barrier. From the outside, it looked like an incredibly huge ship, breaking through the ground and instantly appearing in the distant skies. It was made of some unknown material, and it was surrounded by a beautiful light. Master, other than this Unimo planet ship, the items on the jade table are also the wealth I mentioned. Babata pointed at the jade table on Luo Feng's right. Luo Feng focused his gaze, seeing all sorts of items on the table, some glowing with mysterious runes, and some weapons made of unknown materials. On the other side, Hualala, Pacific Ocean, base. Including the Alliance leader, Hong, and Thunder God, a group of people were gazing at the mysterious huge beast deep in the ocean. At this time, the huge beast looked like it had eaten its fill, floating leisurely on the surface of the ocean, with a satisfied expression. Clarence, just what kind of beast is that? The number one warrior, Hong, asked a bald old man beside him. Star, space beast. The bald old man took a deep breath. His expression suddenly changed, revealing fear. Be more specific. Hearing the bald old man say the name of the mysterious beast, the upper echelon immediately asked. According to the records of the ancient civilization that I've studied, above the war god level is the star traveler level. This level is split into 9 levels. Above that is the star level. Above that there's the universe level. And out of countless planets, only one universe-level warrior can be born. However, in the vast universe, there are some terrifying and special huge beasts. They don't need to train, naturally growing to become terrifying beings. This space beast is one of them. What? Universe level. Hearing the bald old man's words, Hong and Thunder God's expressions changed greatly, becoming extremely ugly. Space beasts, their numbers are extremely small. Any space beast, as long as they grow up, can reach the universe level. A casual strike from them can easily destroy a planet. The bald old man pointed at the mysterious monster floating in the distant sea. Judging from its ability, this mysterious monster should be a devouring type astral behemoth. Hong, Thunder God, what is the universe level? And what star level? Could it be that your level isn't the limit? The upper echelon looked at Hong and Thunder God in confusion. The so-called cultivation system that the bald old man had researched from the ruins of the ancient civilization was too foreign to them. Quiet, Hong said. In an instant, all the upper echelon shut their mouths, staring at Hong in unison. There are some things that are useless even if I explain it to you. I can tell you clearly, if this mysterious beast is really a space beast, then the following disaster will be hard to solve. Even if we work together, it will be hard to get through this. Old man, can you tell me how strong this space beast is right now? Thunder God looked at the bald old man, his expression extremely serious. If the enemy had already grown to the universe level, then they had no need to resist. There was no meaning in that. It can't be the universe level. The bald old man shook his head. Universe-level space beasts. Their bodies are at least 1,000 m, maybe even 10,000 m long. This swallowing beast is only 200 m. It should be a star traveler level 8 or 9, or even a star level. Chapter 552. Star Traveler level 8 or 9 or star level? Hearing the bald old man's words, Hong and Thunder God looked at each other and communicated with their eyes. If it was at this level, they could still resist. Although the hope of victory was still very small, at least it wasn't to the point of complete despair. Everyone, since we already know the strength of that beast, let's think of a way to kill it, the Alliance leader said as he pointed at the giant star beast in the sky above the distant ocean. In an instant, the high-level officials began to discuss. However, after half a day of discussion, no one could come up with a feasible method. Currently, the strongest single attack weapon in their base was the laser cannon. However, the laser cannon with the highest power couldn't even leave a mark on the beast's scales. If there was something more powerful than the laser cannon, it would be the nuclear bomb that could be stacked. However, to maximize the power of the nuclear bomb, the target must be at the center of the explosion. Otherwise, the damage would be worse than the laser cannon. After using the nuclear bomb, the large amount of radiation would easily cause a new round of mutation. Because of this, under normal circumstances, they wouldn't use nuclear weapons. Leader, we have no other choice against this space beast, a high-level official said. Let's calculate how much we need and how to ensure that the space beast is at the center of the explosion. After all, this big guy's speed is not normal. Speaking to this point, the Alliance leader looked at the secretary behind him and said, broadcast the video and information about the space beast to the entire human alliance. A few minutes later, in every corner of every city in the alliance, TV, cinema, shopping mall screens, as long as there was a screen, they all played the video about the space beast. Quickly look. What is that beast? Why did they suddenly broadcast a video about the beast? This has never happened before. Oh my God. Isn't that the base? It was swallowed by that beast. How is that possible? That's too scary. When the humans in the alliance saw the video, they all screamed in fear. Everyone, as you can see, we humans are currently under attack by a terrifying beast. This beast is called the Space Beast. Currently, we don't have the confidence to kill it. It is even possible that the entire human alliance will be destroyed because of it. The reason why I'm telling everyone this is because I'm worried that the ending will really be what I'm most afraid of. In order to not have any regrets, I hope that all of you can accompany your loved ones. Of course, since we are on the front line, we will do our best to survive this disaster and protect everyone's safety. Just as the humans of the Alliance were discussing intensely, the Alliance leader's voice sounded through various mediums in every corner of the Alliance. After the leader of the Human Alliance finished speaking, the entire Human Alliance was in an uproar. They were truly immersed in a fearful atmosphere. Leader, it's the Alliance leader. Could it be that the end of the world is really coming? How could this be? Has this monster already reached such a terrifying stage? Lord Hong and Lord Thunder God, even they are not confident? The humans of the Alliance looked at each other in fear. At this moment, the video on the screen changed again. Look, those people are the higher-ups of the Alliance. Is this a live broadcast? Is it showing the front line of the battlefield? At this moment, all the humans were staring intently at the live broadcast on the screen. They were all extremely nervous. Xi'an District Number 3 High School, the classroom that was originally in the middle of class, because of this sudden broadcast, was dismissed. At such a young age, I haven't even had the chance to enjoy my life, and now I'm facing the end of the world. Is this my fate? Walking on the school's main road, Wei Wen looked up and sighed. I wonder if Luo Feng knows about this? Where is he right now? Su Exine bit her lips and asked. Who knows where he and that mysterious lord are? However, this is a crisis for humanity. They definitely know. Wei Wen looked at Su Exine beside him and said, South Shore District. Humanity is still heading towards extinction. Watching the scene on the screen, Luo Hongwa collapsed on the sofa and took out a cigarette. Hongwa, I miss little Feng. I wonder how he is with that lord now. Gong Xian Lan took off her apron. Mom, don't worry, brother will be fine. I'll contact him now. Luo Hua said and dialed Luo Feng's number. After a while, a virtual projection appeared in the room. Little Feng, where are you right now? The end of the world is here. In these last moments, let's stay together as a family. Seeing the familiar person in the projection, Gong Xian Lan immediately said, Mom, what are you talking about? Everything was fine. How did the end of the world come? Luo Feng's voice resounded. Brother, I've sent you the video that the upper echelon of the Alliance sent. Take a look. Luo Hua said, and sent the video of the space beast to Chu Bei. Unimo planet ship. Luo Feng finished watching the video sent by Luo Hua, and his face was filled with shock. Such a weak planet actually had a space beast. It's unbelievable, Babata exclaimed and sighed. Ah, looks like this planet is going to be destroyed soon. Tell me more about this space beast and its current level of strength. Hearing Babata's words, Luo Feng immediately asked, Master, look carefully at that space beast. It has a single horn on its head. The space beast race has many branches, and this one is the golden horn beast. The golden horn beast's strength is easy to identify because at different stages, it has different characteristics. During the infant stage, it only has one horn on its forehead. During the adult stage, it grows a second horn. During the youth stage, it grows a third horn. During the adult stage, it grows a fourth horn. During the pinnacle stage, it grows a fifth horn. As the golden horned beast's strength grows, the golden engravings on its horn become more complex until it completely turns gold. Look carefully at this golden horned beast. Its second horn is just a small protrusion. Hence, you can tell that it has only recently stepped into the star level. Babata paused and continued, different from other space beasts, the golden horned beast will madly swallow large amounts of metal during its growth stage. Its strength will also madly rise. No wonder it swallowed the base. That place is filled with metal. Luo Feng suddenly seemed to understand. Master, even though this golden horn beast is only a star level, it's still not something the people of this planet can deal with. If you're worried about your family's safety, you should immediately bring them away from this planet. Babata continued, with your strength, you can't deal with this space beast? Luo Feng frowned. Master, you may not know, but the space beast race, even in the vast universe, is a famous existence. Even though I can kill this little guy, they have a mark of their race when they're born. Before they die, their final image will be transmitted to their race. If I kill it, then I'll have to face the entire space beast race. No matter where I am in the universe, they'll come and hunt me down until I've killed my target. Not just me, even my previous master, an undying being, didn't want to mess with the space beast race. Babata looked at Luo Feng, his expression extremely serious. Master, listen to me. Don't interfere with the space beast's matters. According to you, I have to sit back and do nothing? Let the space beasts destroy the human alliance. Destroy the planet I was born on? Hearing Babata's words, Luo Feng's expression turned ugly. Unless you feel that you have the ability to face the space beast's pursuit, Babata replied. On the other side, Pacific Ocean, Warbase. Walala. The golden horned beast seemed to have rested enough. With a roll, it created a terrifying gale. Huge waves crashed against the shore, engulfing the sky. The two Emperor-level monsters and countless sea monsters behind him seemed to have received a command and let out a terrifying roar at the same time. In an instant, the entire Pacific Ocean reverberated with all sorts of terrifying beast roars. Not good. It's rested enough. It's going to start eating again. Noticing the movements in the distant ocean, an upper echelon said, "How's the preparation of the fighter jets?" The Alliance leader's expression was serious as he asked. Reporting to the chief, everything is ready. 1 prehistoric class, 1 universe class, 4 king class, and 13 elite limit fighters. Of which, the prehistoric level fighter jets are equipped with the Human Alliance's most powerful bomb, the 091 hydrogen bomb, which contains all of our reserves. It's also our greatest trump card. A commander said, "Good. Prepare for battle." The Alliance leader nodded, following which he made a hand gesture. After which, 19 different colored fighter jets flew out from the war base. Quickly look. The battle has begun. We must succeed. Kill that mysterious beast. At the same time, the Human Alliance from all over the world were anxiously observing the situation on the front lines, all of their gazes locked onto the live broadcast. Rumbling sounds. Pacific Ocean, 19 fighter jets flew across the sky. They weren't flying side by side, but rather maintained a distance from each other. Very quickly, the first fighter jet arrived at the area where the golden horned beast was. At this time, the golden horned beast's scaled wings flapped, leisurely floating in the air, its dark golden eyes filled with coldness, brutality, and killing intent. Suddenly, the golden horned beast seemed to have sensed something, moving its huge head to look at the first fighter jet flying over. Chila. The golden horned beast immediately waved its right claw, creating a sonic boom as it slammed forward. Chapter 553. Explode. The first fighter that flew into the area where the golden horned beast was located was an Emperor-level fighter. According to the program, once the golden horned beast attacked, it would immediately self-destruct, regardless of the distance. Rumble. In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound rang from the Pacific Ocean. The 2 atomic bombs carried by the first Emperor-level fighter exploded. In an instant, it was as if a small sun appeared in that area of the ocean, enveloping the golden horned beast. Visible to the naked eye, a gigantic mushroom cloud soared into the sky, and a terrifying shockwave swept across the ocean below. Under such a powerful explosion, the weaker monsters in the ocean directly exploded, and dark red blood dyed the surface of the ocean. However, when the flames disappeared, and the images transmitted by the satellite became clear, the golden horned beast was still there, and there were no injuries on its body. The energy generated by the explosion of this 20,000-ton atomic bomb was like a gust of wind to it. It was dispensable. After a few seconds, the second fighter came. This time, the golden horned beast didn't attack directly. It spread its gigantic wings, and its huge eyes were filled with curiosity, as if it had a strong interest in the fighter. Until the second fighter was about 10 meters away from it, it stretched out its claws to grab it. Rumble. Another earth-shattering sound. Howl. In the mushroom cloud, the golden horned beast let out a roar, but it didn't sound like it was in pain, but more like a sound of comfort. The third fighter, the fourth, the fifth fighter, one earth-shattering sound after another. One after another, mushroom clouds soared into the sky. The powerful nuclear bombs exploded in the area where the golden horned beast was. At this moment, the eyes of the entire world were glued to the live broadcast in front of them. and they were all extremely nervous, especially the upper echelons of the warbase, because among the 19 fighters, the elite fighters and ace fighters were only cannon fodder. They didn't expect these fighters to be able to hurt the star-level golden horned beast. Their real trump card was the prehistoric level fighter among the cannon fodder, the real fighter that carried all the 091 hydrogen bombs in their alliance's reserves. Looking at the golden horned beast in the center of the explosion, its dark golden eyes were filled with excitement. The continuous explosions of the atomic bombs created a super high-temperature particle flow, which stimulated its huge body. This stimulation made its body grow faster, and it was very comfortable. Woo! Seeing another fighter jet flying over, the golden horned beast didn't hesitate to welcome it, letting out a cheerful cry. It was a dark blue triangular fighter. It was the trump card of the human alliance, the prehistoric fighter. Whoosh! The fighter jet moved like lightning and appeared beside the golden horned beast. At this moment, the alliance leader, Hong, god of thunder, and the other peak martial artists, as well as the leaders of the various countries and the upper echelons of the military, were all watching nervously. Success! This doomsday calamity had been safely passed. If he failed, humanity would fall into a nightmare, suffering the revenge of the golden horned beast. I will definitely succeed. That's right, it's equipped with all of our 091 hydrogen bombs. Inside the base, all the upper echelons held their breaths. The atmosphere was extremely tense. At the same time, 10 kilometers away from where the golden horned beast was, the UNMO planet ship flew out from the clouds. That fighter jet is loaded with far more energy than the previous fighter jets. You humans are really intelligent. First, use the previous fighter to confuse it. When it is completely relaxed, then use this trump card. In the cabin of the UNMO planet ship, Babata gave a compliment. In front of him, there was a screen. On the screen was the scene of the battlefield. From start to finish, Chubei, who was sitting beside, didn't say a word. He just looked at the screen calmly. His expression was as calm as if he was watching a movie. It was as if this doomsday had no effect on him at all. Above the Pacific Ocean, the golden horned beast looked at the fighter jet that was less than 10 m away from it. Thinking back to the comfortable feeling of the fighter jet exploding, it couldn't help but let out a joyful cry. After which, it opened its gigantic scaled wings and hugged the fighter jet. Seeing this scene, the upper echelons of the base were all excited. It's looking for death. That's great. This is equivalent to being in its body. It will definitely succeed. Kill it. Including Hong and God of Thunder, the upper echelons clenched their fists. At this moment, all the humans around the world were nervously watching the live broadcast. Even though they didn't understand the difference between the 19 fighter jets, they could tell from the expressions of the upper echelons of the Alliance that this fighter jet was the deciding factor of humanity's survival and destruction. It was a moment of life and death. Rumble. An earth-shattering explosion that was several times louder than the previous one rang out. After which, a mushroom cloud that was several times louder than the previous one bloomed. At this moment, everything above the ocean seemed to have frozen. The golden horned beast that was at the center of the explosion immediately realized that this explosion was different from the previous one. It instinctively retreated. However, it hugged the fighter jet in front of it. No matter how fast it was, it couldn't completely escape to a safe area. Amidst the loud explosion, the video transmitted back by the satellite turned into a white light. Nothing could be seen. It exploded. Oh my God. The power this time is even more terrifying than the previous ones combined. With such a terrifying explosion, I'm afraid that the monster's corpse wouldn't even be left. Amidst the deafening explosion, all the humans in the Alliance were dumbfounded as they looked at the center of the explosion. Walala, the ocean was churning. Under the terrifying impact, the monsters in the ocean were burned into nothingness by the high temperature. Even more were directly killed by the powerful shockwave. Gradually, the sound of the explosion faded away. The flames and smoke dissipated. When the humans in the Alliance were able to see the scene clearly again, there was only blood that was dyed red. Other than that, there was nothing else. Even the two Emperor-level monsters were nowhere to be seen. They're gone. Did we succeed? In the war base, The Alliance leader and a group of higher-ups looked at the empty scene anxiously and muttered to themselves, "Haha, it's dead. That monster really didn't have a corpse left. The crisis of doomsday has been resolved. The Alliance army is mighty." All the humans in the world regained their senses. They screamed and danced with joy. Woo! However, before the excited cheers of all the humans faded away, a loud roar that seemed to come from ancient times resounded in the sky above the Pacific Ocean. The terrifying sound waves shook the ocean below. The roar was filled with heart-palpitating cruelty and brutality. It was as if it was filled with endless destruction and killing. The source of the roar was as if it represented the most terrifying disaster in the world. After a while, a silhouette appeared in the empty scene. Black scales covered its entire body. Its neck, back, and other scales extended to its tail. There were golden engravings on the scales, as if it was wearing black and gold armor. Its head was still held high. Its horns were still sharp. However, there was a huge wound of over 10 meters on its abdomen. Fresh blood was flowing out. However, upon closer inspection, one could see that the muscles around the wound were wriggling and repairing themselves. This huge silhouette was the golden horn beast that was at the center of the explosion. Now, it was roaring and its huge eyes were filled with killing intent. How could this be? In the war base, a group of higher-ups looked at the golden horned beast that had reappeared on the screen. They were all stunned and speechless. That's the 091 hydrogen bomb, and it's all that we have. It was clearly at the center of the explosion. How could it still be alive? After regaining his senses, the Alliance leader took 2 steps back. His face was pale. The other higher-ups were also trembling. They couldn't accept this fact. Their eyes were filled with despair. The golden horned beast was still alive. This was equivalent to announcing the extinction of the human race on Earth. That monster isn't dead. This means that the crisis isn't over yet. Don't tell me that we humans really can't survive this crisis. Soon, the humans all over the world fell into panic again. They hugged their loved ones and stared at the screen unwillingly. Walala! The seawater was churning. The golden horned beast was filled with rage as it rushed toward the war base. Leader, it's not good. That monster is coming toward us. Quickly retreat. Looking at the screen, the huge silhouette was getting closer and closer. A group of higher-ups were filled with fear. Without much hesitation, after the order was given, all the Alliance army in the war base immediately got on the transportation and retreated. Howl! In just a few seconds, the golden horned beast appeared in the sky above the war base. Its sharp and cold gaze swept across the area below. It let out a low growl that reverberated in the air. After that, it opened its huge mouth. Amidst the howling winds, the sky and earth darkened. The space around the golden horned beast began to distort. The next moment, the empty war base flew up and flew toward the golden horned beast's huge mouth. A similar scene played out once again. The war base was swallowed by the golden horned beast. That monster is starting to attack. The explosion from before has completely enraged it. The base is gone. Luckily, the leader and the others ran fast. All the humans in the Alliance looked at the nearest screen in shock. Their faces were all ashen. In the sky above the ocean, after the golden horned beast swallowed the war base, it didn't immediately leave like before. Instead, it looked at a distant region. Its huge eyes seemed to be filled with ridicule like a human. Not good. It has discovered us. A higher-up let out a voice filled with fear. Shio. The sound of air breaking resounded. A few flying devices carrying people were about to leave. However, before they could even fly far, the golden horned beast waved its claws and shot out a few rays of light, shooting the flying devices down. This time, the higher-ups of the Alliance were even more terrified. Are we just going to wait for death? The higher-ups of the Alliance looked at each other. Their faces were filled with fear as they looked at the golden horned beast. Their eyes were filled with unwillingness. Chapter 554. Hong, Thunder God, you two are the strongest in the Alliance. Do you have any other ideas? At this time, the Alliance leader spoke. He had placed his last hope on the two strongest humans on Earth. Hong, I never would have thought that there would be a day when the two of us would fight side by side. Thunder God spoke, smiling. Right? It's a pity that the outcome this time has already been predicted. Death is certain. Hong looked at Thunder God, smiling too, almost as though he was reminiscing about the great Nirvana period. The two of them fighting on the edge of life and death. Fight the golden horned beast. Thunder God and Hong both spoke simultaneously. In the next moment, the two of them rose into the air, heading towards the golden horned beast. Chi-Chi. While flying, Thunder God's body was surrounded by threads of lightning snakes flowing about. Looking at Hong's surroundings, there were dots of white light glaring. Quickly look. That's the strongest Hong and the second strongest Thunder God. Are they working together against that mysterious beast? In front of that terrifying beast, can the two of them win? The entire world's gazes once again focused on the screen, looking at the two famous silhouettes, their gazes filled with anticipation. Under countless gazes, Hong and Thunder God quickly appeared in the skies above the golden horned beast, facing it from afar. Howl! The golden horned beast looked at Hong and Thunder God, letting out a howl. Its face was filled with disdain, that mocking gaze, almost as though it was looking at two ants. In the battlefield, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances and laughed. Within their laughter was a sense of relief. After which, the white light around Hong grew even more resplendent, and the lightning around Thunder God's body grew even more concentrated, crackling nonstop. Domain. How is this possible? They actually have a domain. Within the Unimo planet ship, Babata looked at the screen, his pupils squinting as he exclaimed, his face filled with shock. What's a domain? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows, looking at Babata in confusion. Beside him, Chu Bei was as calm as ever. His expression didn't change at all. Domain. This planet was just a planet. How could there be two people with domains, and they were only planetary state martial artists? This is unbelievable. It's simply impossible. Babata's gaze switched back and forth between Hong and Thor. His pupils grew bigger and bigger. It's already very impressive for a planet to have one person with a domain, but now there are two at the same time. Speak clearly. Luo Feng stared at Babata. Master, this domain is a unique area with the user as the center. Within this area, the user's strength would increase, while the enemy would be weakened and restrained. When the domain is cultivated to the extreme, it will form its own inner world. Babata stared at Hong and Thunder God on the screen. Only a very small number of stellar-level beings have their own domain, much less planet-level beings. As for having a domain in the planetary state, the probability is about 1 in a billion. Then what are their chances of defeating the Golden Horn Beast? Luo Feng asked the question he was most concerned about. One of them is a Star Traveler level 7, the other is a Star Traveler level 8, and they both have their own domains. However, even so, their chances of winning are still 0. Babata squinted his eyes. A Star Traveler level isn't something 2 Star Travelers can defeat. What's more, this Star Traveler level has a terrifying natural ability, the Golden Horn Beast. Kill. On the battlefield, Hong and Thunder God roared at the same time. As they roared, a completely black spear appeared in Hong's hand, and in Thunder God's hand, a completely purple-black battle blade appeared. At this time, the entire alliance held their breaths. They all stared nervously at the screen, staring at the two majestic silhouettes. Rumble. The moment they made their moves, Hong and Thunder God began to unleash their strongest attacks. 2 different domains instantly enveloped the golden horned beast's body. At this time, Hong's body and the spear in his hand intertwined, reaching the state of man and spear as one. As for Thunder God, he too became a green lightning bolt with the blade in his hand. With a sonic boom, the two left behind 2 rainbows, rushing towards the gigantic golden horned beast from 2 different directions. The golden horned beast floated in midair. When it was enveloped by the 2 domains, its dark golden eyes flashed with shock. Obviously, it was shocked by Hong and Thunder God's domains. It would never have thought that these 2 beings, who were mere ants in its eyes, would have domains. However, shock was just shock. There was no fear on its face. That was indeed the case. The golden horned beast's gigantic body shook, following which it opened its mouth wide and the space in front of it started to distort. Then, with a deep explosion, Hong and the Thunder God's domain shattered, disappearing without a trace. Another loud roar. The golden horned beast looked at Hong and Thunder God with disdain. Its two front claws slapped out. Ka-cha, ka-cha. With a low rumble, two crisp sounds of breaking could be heard. Hong, who had become one with his spear, and Thunder God, who had become one with his blade, were knocked away the moment they hit the golden horned beast's huge claws. Their spear and blade were instantly shattered. Lord Hong and Lord Thunder God are injured. The strongest of our alliance can't even take one hit from that monster. How could this be? Looking at Hong and Thunder God spitting blood on the screen, the humans all over the world were pale. The faces of the alliance leader and the higher-ups were extremely ugly. Their eyes were filled with worry. Is this the power of a star level? On the battlefield, Hong and Thunder God wiped the blood from the corners of their mouths. When they looked at the golden horned beast again, their eyes were filled with desolation. The power of a star level was too terrifying. It was not on the same level as them. The seemingly casual attack from the opponent was fatal to them. Hong, do you still remember the fusion technique? Of course. After a short moment of hesitation, Hong and Thunder God came to a unanimous decision. Soon after, the two of them nodded, and a purple light and a green light respectively bloomed from their bodies. Then, the two lights clashed and triggered an even more terrifying energy wave. Shio. As Hong and Thunder God got closer, the two beams of light merged together. The next moment, an energy wave that was many times stronger than the one they had unleashed before rushed toward the golden horned beast. Wu, feeling the energy wave from Hong and Thunder God's fusion, the golden horned beast's expression changed slightly. However, it was only surprised. There was no fear. It opened its huge mouth and took a deep breath. A terrifying swallowing force gushed out and swallowed the energy wave from Hong and Thunder God's combination attack. With a roar filled with murderous intent, the golden horned beast's two huge claws glowed with black light and slapped toward Hong and Thunder God. The energy wave from its claws was many times stronger than before. At that moment, the humans all over the world stared at the screen in shock. Their pupils dilated. Even though they weren't on the battlefield, they could still judge the current situation. Hong and Thunder God were on the verge of death. However, just as the claws were about to hit Hong and Thunder God, the humans all over the world closed their eyes. They couldn't bear to watch any longer. Suddenly, a huge mysterious spaceship appeared on the battlefield. Immediately after, a young man in a purple robe appeared. He hovered in the air with a smile on his face. He pointed his finger, and the golden horned beast's claws were cut open. Its huge body bounced away, blood gushing out. Hearing the sound, the humans all over the world couldn't help but open their eyes. They were all stunned. Look, Hong and Thunder God are fine. They're still alive. That's great. That mysterious beast is injured. Its two front claws have been cut off. Where did that flying saucer fighter come from? And that young man? Could it be that all of this has something to do with him? Seeing the scene in the video, the expressions of the humans all over the world changed. When they regained their senses, they were once again filled with excitement and joy. Even though this sudden change was extremely unexpected and caught them off guard, this ending was what they had hoped for. The mysterious beast that was so powerful that Hong and Thunder God together couldn't defeat was injured. Its injuries were even more serious than when the hydrogen bomb exploded. He is the mysterious person who appeared in Jian region. It was him who saved Hong and Thunder God, and he cut off both of the space beast's legs. Seeing the appearance of the young man in purple on the battlefield, the expressions of the higher-ups, including the alliance leader, changed. Their faces were filled with shock. Their expressions were as if they were struck by a bolt from the blue. It was as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over them from head to toe. They were completely numb. I didn't expect his power to be above that of the space beast. Is he also a star level? Hong and Thunder God obviously recognized Chubei as well. After exchanging a glance, they sucked in a breath of cold air at almost the same time, as if they had been struck by lightning. They looked like clay statues. Not long before the space beast appeared, they detected that the Earth was invaded by a huge amount of energy. This energy exceeded the limits of what they could detect and was enough to destroy the Earth. Fortunately, before this power could cause incalculable consequences, it was restrained and disappeared. And right after this energy invaded the Earth, this mysterious person entered their field of vision. Without making any movements, he easily suppressed two warlords. Xi'an Region's third high school. On the plaza of the school, the students who were originally staring at the wall in fear began to get excited. They were all discussing and guessing about Chubei on the battlefield. Suexian, did you see that? That beast is injured. The person who injured it, isn't that the person who saved you and took Luo Feng away before? Wei Wen stared at the purple silhouette on the screen. His eyes were shining and filled with worship. If that's the case, then isn't that person even stronger than Hong and Thunder God? He is the true #1 fighter of humanity. As he said that, Wei Wen couldn't help but to look up at the sky and sigh. This kid Luo Feng is way too lucky. I'm so jealous. Why don't I have such a good life? Look, Luo Feng also came out of the fighter jet. Huh, who is that boy beside him? How come I've never seen him before? Suexian looked at the scene on the screen. Her mouth was slightly open and filled with shock. Shouldn't you be more curious about where that fighter jet came from? Said Wei Wen as he looked at Suexian beside him. Chapter 555. South Shore District. Dad, Mom, brother and his master are here. Just now, it was his master who injured that monster. Luo Hua suddenly exclaimed while watching TV. I didn't expect Feng's master to be so powerful. Even that monster was injured. Luo Hongguo was so shocked that he sat up from the sofa and took out another cigarette to smoke. Do you guys think that Xiao Feng's master will chase away that monster? Gong Xian Lan adjusted her apron. If that's the case, then he'll be the savior of humanity. Luo Hongguo took a deep breath. He can even heal my leg instantly. He'll definitely be able to defeat that monster. Luo Hua looked at the TV with anticipation and clenched his fist. Thank you for your help. Not knowing Chubei's background, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances and clasped their fists at Chubei and bowed to thank him. Chubei glanced at Hong and the god of thunder with a smile on his face. He nodded slightly. Woo! In the distance, the golden horned beast let out a painful roar. It stared at Chubei fiercely, its eyes filled with murderous intent. It couldn't wait to cut Chubei into pieces. With a loud roar filled with murderous intent, the horn on the golden horned beast's forehead lit up with a golden engraving. Then, its eyes became a dazzling golden color. After a short while, the golden horned beast's broken claws started to regenerate at a speed visible to the naked eye. After that, an even more violent and terrifying aura exploded from its body. Not good. Its aura has risen to another level. Sensing the golden horned beast's power, Hong and Thunder God frowned. Their bodies were as tense as stone, and their hearts were as heavy as lead. After that, they couldn't help but look at Chubei. This person was the last hope of the human alliance. Chi. The golden horned beast's killing intent surged. With a roar, a golden light flowed from its neck and back to its front claws. Its sharp claws swiped towards Chubei. The void was cut open, and a terrifying golden light instantly appeared in front of Chubei. However, just as the golden light was about to pierce through Chubei's neck, the golden light seemed to have been repelled by an invisible force. It changed its direction and headed straight for the golden horned beast. In fact, his speed was even faster, and his aura was even more terrifying. Bang! Without any time to react, the golden light pierced through the golden horned beast's chest, causing a low explosion. In the next moment, the golden horned beast's huge body flew backwards once again, fresh blood spurting from its wounds. Witnessing this scene, Hong and Thunder God gulped, their eyes wide open. They were so close to each other, but they couldn't see how the other party attacked. There was no process, only results. The golden horned beast is injured again. How did he do it? No matter what, up until now, that mysterious lord has the upper hand. All the humans in the Alliance looked at the screen, their faces filled with joy. Woo woo woo. At this time, purple flames rose from the golden horned beast's body on the battlefield. With a furious roar, the golden horned beast opened its huge mouth, and an incomparably terrifying devouring force surged out. The surrounding space was instantly distorted. It's the same method that swallowed the base earlier. Noticing the distorted space around the golden horned beast, Hong, Thunder God, the Alliance leader, and the others were all shocked. From their point of view, this devouring force that could swallow a base was the most terrifying part of the golden horned beast. Chi, 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 chi. The terrifying devouring force spread, and everywhere it went was distorted. The space rumbled as it surged towards Chu Bei. Are you trying to compete with me in terms of devouring force? Noticing the incoming devouring force, Chu Bei's eyes were filled with mockery, after which he casually pointed his finger. With a buzzing sound, Chu Bei's fingertip glowed with a black light. Under the gazes of all the humans, the black light quickly expanded, forming a disc-shaped black light. In the next moment, the space in front of the black light exploded. More accurately, it was pulled in by the ripples released by the light. An even more terrifying devouring force appeared on the battlefield. Chi-Chi. The two devouring forces intertwined, and in an instant, the golden horned beast's devouring force was sucked in by the black light. Woo! The golden horned beast seemed to have sensed something. Its huge eyes dilated, and its expression, other than shock, was filled with an instinctive fear. The purple flames on the surface of its body burned even more vigorously, and its huge mouth once again released the devouring force. However, no matter how much it increased its devouring force, it was unable to withstand a single blow from the black light. My God, am I seeing things? The golden horned beast's devouring force is being devoured instead. How is this possible? Is that lord really still human? How can he have the same devouring force as the golden horned beast? That lord's devouring force is even more terrifying. At that moment, the gazes of all the humans in the world were focused on the black light before Chu Bei's fingertip, and their faces were filled with disbelief. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. A human being was actually able to release a devouring force. And this devouring force was even more powerful than the golden horned beast's natural ability. When they saw this scene, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances, and their expressions became even more numb. The golden horned beast's devouring force, which they feared the most, had been neutralized by the same ability. Woo! The golden horned beast's howls were filled with fear. The flames on the surface of its body gradually extinguished, and it flapped its huge wings. However, just as it sensed death and wanted to escape, an invisible force appeared above its head out of thin air and crashed down with a loud bang. The next moment, its wings were broken by this formless force, and its huge body was restrained, unable to move. However, this was only the beginning. The devouring force from the black light quickly engulfed its entire body. Woo woo! The golden horned beast's expression became more and more twisted in pain. It cried out pitifully and begged for mercy, as though it was suffering from unbearable pain. You mercilessly slaughtered hundreds of thousands of lives. How can this be forgiven? Chu Bei's gaze focused. Along with his calm and low voice, the golden horned beast's huge body suddenly exploded. Then, under everyone's gaze, a translucent soul flew out of the golden horned beast's body. Then, it disappeared into the black light. At that moment, the golden horned beast's huge body stopped struggling. There was no sign of life. It's not moving. Is it dead? The danger has been resolved. The humans of the Alliance who were watching the entire process were all dazed when they saw the golden horned beast's huge body not moving at all. Then, they reacted and shouted excitedly. Xian Region 3rd High School. I told you, the space beast isn't that lord's match. Wei Wen's face was filled with worship as he stared at the purple silhouette on the screen. He was extremely excited. Weiwen, do you think that Lord is also from our Earth? He looks so young, but he's so powerful. Su Exine rubbed her lips and said to Weiwen beside her, "We'll know when Luofeng comes back. Right now, I'm even more curious about what that Lord taught Luofeng." Weiwen's face was filled with envy. South Shore District. It's okay. Our humanity won't be destroyed. Luo Hua stared at the television and shouted excitedly, "He's not only our family's savior, he's the savior of all of humanity." Luo Hongguo let out a long breath and pinched the cigarette in his hand. Yes, if the Lord didn't appear, it wouldn't be long before our humanity would be devoured by that beast. Gong Xianlong said. At that moment, the entire world's attention was focused on Chu Bei. Their eyes were filled with gratitude. It's over. It's all over. Behind the base, including the alliance leader, the upper echelon exchanged glances. After recovering from the shock, they were all overjoyed. From the beginning to the end, their emotions had fluctuated. From the beginning, they had hope for the 091 hydrogen bomb, to the subsequent futility of the bomb, to the despair when Hong and Thunder God were defeated, and finally to the hope when Chu Bei appeared. Luckily, the road was bumpy, and the ending was what they had anticipated. The entire human alliance's crisis had been averted. Lord, killing this young golden horned beast was easy. However, the scene of its death should have already been transmitted to their race. I'm afraid that it won't be long before you face the pursuit of an adult space beast. Babata looked at Chu Bei and said, his eyes filled with worry. Chu Bei smiled and looked at Babata, as though he didn't care about his words. Instead, he looked at Luofeng. Disciple, this golden horned beast's talent is not bad. I'll make it your clone. After his calm words, Chu Bei pointed at Luofeng with his left hand and pointed at the golden horned beast with his right. Chi. The golden horned beast's huge body flew over. At the same time, a thread of Luofeng's soul flew out from between his eyebrows and entered the golden horned beast's body. After a while, Chu Bei waved his right hand and threads of energy entered the golden horned beast's body. It was almost as though he was performing some sort of ritual. In just a few seconds, the golden horned beast that had already become a corpse began to move again. Chapter 556. Alive? Alive. Impossible. Don't tell me it's not dead yet. The humans that were just starting to relax and cheer, when they saw the golden horned beast move, their faces all turned pale. Lord, the golden horned beast isn't dead yet? After witnessing Chu Bei's power, Hong and Thunder God, the two strongest warriors of the Alliance, changed the way they addressed him. Facing Chu Bei, they were obviously more respectful. It's dead. What you see now is just my disciple's clone. Chu Bei's voice wasn't loud, but it clearly reached the ears of every human on Earth. Clone? Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Just as they and the fighters of the entire world were confused, with a whoosh, the huge golden horned beast became a beam of light and flew into Luofeng's body. Thank you, Master. Very quickly, Luofeng felt the miraculous use of the clone. It was like having a second life, and this clone could follow the main body to train. That means the golden horned beast is still dead. Hearing Chu Bei's words, the humans of the Alliance let out a sigh of relief, as though they were finally relaxed. Lord, your battle just ended. Why don't you take a rest? We'll prepare a feast for you. Hong and Thunder God immediately went up and said respectfully. In the Battle of the Pacific Ocean, the golden horned beast was defeated and its corpse was refined into Luofeng's clone by Chu Bei. After witnessing this scene, the humans of the Alliance all reacted and went into a state of excitement. Cheers and shouts could be heard from every corner. On the other side, the center of the continent, this was an extremely wide area. Other than the silver-white courtyard walls, there was a tall, dark blue skyscraper. This skyscraper was engraved with 4 eye-catching words, Alliance Headquarters. Outside the walls of the Alliance, there were armed guards everywhere. It gave off the feeling of a monster armed to the teeth. At this time, the meeting room on the top floor of the skyscraper was already filled with people. Projection of the entire Alliance. The Alliance leader looked at the secretary beside him. After giving the order, he got up from his seat and walked towards Chu Bei. It was also at this moment that the scene in the conference room was being broadcasted live from every corner of the Alliance. Look, those are the higher-ups of the Alliance. And that Savior. Are they having a meeting? The crisis of the apocalypse has just been resolved. I think the leader should have something to say to us. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on the screen. Everyone was focused with anticipation on their faces. My lord, on behalf of the entire human alliance, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you. If it weren't for you, under the destruction of the golden horned beast, humanity would have quickly gone extinct. The alliance leader came in front of Chu Bei. Although he had already expressed his gratitude to Chu Bei countless times, this time, he did it in front of all the humans in the alliance. He represented all the humans in the alliance. Chu Bei didn't say anything. He just nodded at the alliance leader and the camera and smiled faintly. Sir, not long ago, we detected an incomparably terrifying energy invading Earth, and then you appeared in our field of vision. Furthermore, your appearance is not in our alliance's residence register. Hong stood up and carefully probed. Sir, is that energy related to you? And your origin, you should be from outside Earth, right? Not bad. You guessed the first and second questions correctly. Chu Bei's lips curled into a smile. As Chu Bei's voice was transmitted to every corner of the world, everyone in the alliance was stunned. What does that mean? Could it be that Savior isn't from Earth? Is there really an alien civilization in this world? But he clearly looks the same as us humans. The energy that Lord Hong is talking about should be the earthquake from before, right? It actually has something to do with him. After the humans in the Alliance regained their senses, they let out shocked voices. My God, this Lord actually came from outside Earth. This is simply unbelievable. Xian Region's third high school. Wei Wen and Su Xian exchanged glances. Their mouths were wide open as they looked at each other. Honghua, Little Feng got an alien as his teacher. Nothing will happen, right? Gong Xian Lan swallowed her saliva and played with the apron in her hands. Mom, don't worry for nothing. Even though this Lord came from the vast universe, his other identity is also the Savior of Earth. Luo Hua opened his mouth and said, not only in every corner of the Alliance, even in the conference room, including the Alliance's leader, the upper echelons all looked at Chu Bei with their mouths agape. Even Hong, who asked this question, couldn't help but to take in a cold breath after hearing Chu Bei's answer. If there was any change in expression, other than Chu Bei, the only ones left were Luo Feng and Babata, who already knew about this. Lord, can you reveal what we don't know? Hong asked again. If you asked him to be more specific, he wouldn't know what to ask. However, there were many mysteries in the dark. The other upper echelons were the same. You are now a Star Traveler level 8. How much do you know about the training system? Chu Bei looked calmly at Hong. According to some ancient literature, our so-called warriors, generals, and war gods can all be called apprentices on the path of training. Above apprentices is the Star Traveler level. Actually, only when you reach this level can you be considered to have truly stepped on the path of training. After the Star Traveler level is the Star level. After that is the Universe level. Hong said seriously, do you think the Universe level is the end? Without waiting for Chu Bei to speak, Babata couldn't help but to say, after the Universe level is the Domain Lord level. After that is the Sector Lord level. Above the Sector Lord level, there are even more powerful Undying beings. What about after the Undying? Looking at Babata's disdainful expression, Chu Bei smiled and asked, Lord, from what you're saying, there are even higher levels above the Undying? Hearing Chu Bei's words, Babata let out a shocked expression. The Undying that you know of is only halfway through the path of training. It's still far from the end. Chu Bei said, Lord, you're not joking with me, right? Hearing this, Babata's eyes widened. He stared straight at Chu Bei, but the latter didn't say anything else. In the conference hall, as well as all the humans around the world, after hearing the conversation between Hong, Babata, and Chu Bei, were all shocked. They had a new understanding of the training system. The war gods that they thought were unreachable in the past were actually just apprentices. When you're strong enough, you can jump out of Earth, jump out of the Milky Way, Jump out of this star field and go to a wider world. Then you'll know everything. Chu Bei said calmly. A wider world? The Alliance leader and the higher-ups looked at each other. You're just frogs in a well. The universe is much bigger than you think. Sensing Chu Bei's gaze, Babata cleared his throat. According to what you said, the galaxy that Earth is in is called the Milky Way. But in this vast universe, there are thousands to trillions of galaxies like this. The Milky Way that you're in, the Beta Galaxy, and a total of 8 neighboring galaxies, in the vast universe, formed the Silver Blue Empire, a beginner-level civilization. Babata said methodically, Silver Blue Empire? Hearing this unfamiliar term for the first time, the higher-ups of the Alliance looked at each other. On the map of the universe, this Silver Blue Empire is only a part of the Black Dragon Mountain starfield. And the one that rules the Black Dragon Mountain starfield is a middle-level civilization in the universe, which is the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. As for this Silver Blue Empire, it's a subordinate country of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Logically speaking, every planet should have a lord. But this planet of yours doesn't have a lord. It can also be said that this planet of yours hasn't been discovered by the scouts of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Babata continued. Planet Lord? In the conference hall, including the Alliance leader, the higher-ups were all stunned. They stared at Babata, waiting for his next words. In the vast universe, every planet has a price tag that can be traded. As long as you can afford it, you can buy it from the Empire and become the lord of that planet. Babata explained, From what you're saying, sooner or later, our planet will be discovered by the scouts and become a lord. The Alliance leader asked, We don't have to wait too long. Just the energy wave from the space beast should have attracted the scouts' attention. Babata said, If there really is a lord, then if he wantonly kills us, do we have to obediently wait for death? Hong and Thunder God seemed to have thought of the distant future and couldn't help but ask the question in their hearts. To be able to afford the price of a planet, one has to be at least a star-level warrior of rank 8 and above. Just you bunch of ants. What's the difference between resisting and not resisting? Babata let out a cold laugh. Hearing Babata's words, the expressions of the higher-ups, including the Alliance leader, became serious. If what he said was true, then this was undoubtedly an unknown danger to their safety. If this lord was kind, then it was okay. But if he was bloodthirsty, then it would definitely be a disaster. Although Babata's voice wasn't loud, but through the medium of communication, it spread to every corner of the world. That means our planet belongs to the Black Dragon Mountain starfield and is controlled by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Oh my God, my knowledge has been completely flipped over. In the future, will there be a lord appearing on our planet? I only hope he's a good person. I really want to see the world outside of Earth. In a moment, in every corner of the Alliance, all sorts of voices intertwined. Chapter 557. While all the humans in the Alliance were immersed in Babata's words, in the vast space, a silver-gray spaceship was rapidly approaching Earth. What a beautiful azure planet. It's a color that makes one's heart flutter. In the spaceship's control room, a tall and handsome man wearing a silver battle uniform was excited. He looked excitedly at the blue planet displayed on the external virtual screen and couldn't help but sigh. Yes, if it wasn't for the first-order stellar-level energy wave, we wouldn't have been able to discover it. This color is too mesmerizing. In the Empire's map, this planet isn't marked, which means it's most likely an ownerless object. An ownerless planet that represents status, represents money. The other crew members' gazes also landed on the blue planet on the virtual screen, looking at each other with excitement. Soon, the spaceship appeared above the Pacific Ocean. The appearance of the spaceship was not detected by any instruments on Earth. Reporting to the captain, this planet is in the shape of an irregular ellipsoid with a slight bulge in the middle. It has a surface area of 510 million square kilometers, 71% of which is ocean, 29% of which is land. The interior has a core, mantle, and shell structure, and the exterior has a hydrosphere, atmosphere, and magnetic field. There is almost no gravity on the planet's surface, 11 universal standard gravity units. Among them, there are signs of life. In just a few seconds, an AI robot in the spaceship quickly reported some simple data on Earth. A planet with signs of life? That's even more valuable. As the captain, after hearing the basic information about Earth, especially when he heard that there were signs of life, his expression became more and more excited, even showing a hint of craziness. Everyone, if I'm not wrong, this planet is ownerless. Now, we have successfully landed and are the first team in the Empire to discover this planet. The captain's gaze swept across the crew members. However, especially at this time, we can't be careless. After all, we know almost nothing about it. Although the probability of a powerful warrior being born on an ownerless planet is extremely low, there are many such cases. We can't fail miserably. In the Empire's records, there was a case where a team of scouts accidentally discovered an ownerless planet, but they didn't expect that there was a universe-level warrior on the planet, and in the end, the entire team was almost wiped out. Understood. The other 8 officers spoke at the same time, unable to hide the excitement in their expressions. If there really is a universe-level warrior on this planet, then we only have 2 options. One is to inform the slave merchants of the Empire, and the other is to inform the family and have them send experts here. The captain spoke again with a solemn expression. Although an ownerless planet was very tempting to them, their lives were more important. Atuka, begin a comprehensive survey of this planet. Obtain detailed information about this planet as soon as possible. The man who was the captain looked at the control panel and gave instructions to the smart module. Reporting to the captain, this planet has been fully covered by the information network. In less than a minute, a mechanical voice came from the control panel. I can hack into the network and get more comprehensive information. Very good. Hearing this, the captain and the 8 crew members' eyes flashed with surprise, and then they became even more excited. 3 minutes later. Reporting to the captain, all data has been collected. Inside the spaceship, as the captain and 8 crew members waited anxiously, the intelligent module made a sound. Report the data of the experts immediately. Hearing this, the captain's eyes lit up and asked. Among all the information, they were most concerned about the experts. If the experts on a planet were stronger than them, then their AI would temporarily retreat. However, if the experts on the planet were weaker than them, then the planet would be left to their own devices. After obtaining the most benefits, they would report it to the Empire and receive rewards. The race that controls this planet is humans, known as Earth. There are a total of 7 billion people. The number of apprentices is close to 1 million. There are a total of 2 star travelers. As for star levels, there are 0. The intelligent module replied, What? Not even a star level? After hearing the report, the atmosphere in the spaceship changed and became extremely strange. The captain and the 8 crew members were dumbfounded. Ha ha ha, there's not a single star level. After a long while, the man who was the captain was the first to react. He was the first to laugh out loud. This is great. I didn't expect the experts on this planet to be so weak. The strongest is only a star traveler, and there are only 2 of them. In that case, even if I act alone, I can easily take down this planet. We're rich. We're really rich this time. The 8 crew members reacted one after another and shouted excitedly. Their team had a total of 9 people, including the captain. 3 of them were star levels, especially the captain, who was a star level 9. As for the other 6, they were all star level 9. Quickly report the location of the 2 star levels. Go capture them directly and tell everyone on this planet that it belongs to us. In the spaceship's control room, Buluo was in high spirits. He was the captain of this spaceship. Yes, captain. The 8 crew members led by Lei Xiao and Yo Nuo responded in unison. Reporting to captain, the location of the first and second strongest Hong and Thunder God have been confirmed. They are at the Alliance headquarters and have been marked. A mechanical voice came from the control room. Depart, destination, the Alliance headquarters. The 8 crew members were excited. After shouting excitedly, they each drove a mini aircraft and turned into a stream of light, crossing the ocean and heading toward the Alliance headquarters. At this moment, in the Alliance headquarters conference hall, the higher-ups, including the Alliance leader, fell into silence after listening to Babata's description of this vast world. By now, they had deeply realized their insignificance. In this vast universe, there were too many terrifying existences. There were even some existences that could wipe out a planet like Earth with just a thought. Sir, you are our savior. Why don't you buy the rights to Earth from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? The strange atmosphere in the conference hall was broken by the Alliance leader. Yes, sir. Why don't you just be the Lord of Earth? Hearing the Alliance leader's words, the higher-ups of the Alliance seemed to have thought of a countermeasure. At the same time, they looked at Chu Bei with anticipation in their eyes. Hong and Thunder God looked at each other and nodded. Obviously, they agreed with the Alliance leader's suggestion. If Earth would have a lord one day, then this mysterious savior who could wipe out the giant star beasts would be the most suitable. I also don't belong to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. I will leave soon, Chu Bei said. After seeing everyone's worried face, he smiled. But before I leave, I will temporarily take over the position of Lord and protect your safety. Even if I leave, I will ensure that no one in this vast universe dares to have any ideas about Earth. Sir, do you have enough Black Dragon coins? I don't know how much Black Dragon coins our Earth is worth. I don't know if our Alliance can gather that much. The Alliance leader seemed to have thought of something and frowned. Don't talk about your Alliance. Even if there were 10 more of you, you wouldn't be able to buy the rights to this planet. Babata poured cold water on him. Don't worry. Since I have agreed to be the Lord here, even if I don't have money, it is still mine. As for the Black Dragon Mountain Empire that you're worried about, when the time comes, I'll just make a trip there. Chu Bei's lips curled into a smile. With a calm and indifferent expression, the Savior has become the Lord of Earth. That's for the best, so that we won't be taken over by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Listening to that sir's words, is he prepared to spend money to buy from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Why do you think he should? For our own home, we still have to give money to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. After the humans of the entire Alliance heard the conversation in the Alliance's meeting room, they all fell into an intense discussion. Some were happy, some were angry with the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. There is a foreign ship approaching. It doesn't belong to Earth. Suddenly, in the meeting room, Babata's expression changed, letting out a sound. What? A ship that doesn't belong to Earth. Hearing Babata's words, the upper echelon of the Alliance's headquarters all froze, their bodies trembling. They wouldn't doubt Babata's words, only saying that Earth's detection system was too weak, unable to detect these ships that came from the vast universe. Don't tell me there are so-called powerful scouts that have found Earth? It can't be that fast. The Alliance leader swallowed his saliva and couldn't help but guess. If it was really as he guessed, then they would be in big trouble. Even though they had decided to let Chu Bei become the Lord of Earth, it was still just a verbal agreement. It hadn't been recognized by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's laws. If it was just the energy ripples of a star traveler, it wouldn't be easy to detect. However, the energy that the golden horned beast released before its death was already close to a star level 2. Babata tidied his clothes, his gaze sweeping across the upper echelon of the Alliance. This energy is enough to attract the attention of the scouts. Hence, even if these invading ships are really scouts, there's nothing to be surprised about. This is within our expectations. At this time, above the Alliance's headquarters, at a height of 3,000 meters, 8 mini airships appeared from space. A silhouette walked out from every one of them. Civilization sure is backward. Our ships have already stopped here, and they still can't detect us. A green-skinned lady said proudly. The huge building below is the marked location. The 2 strongest star travelers should be inside. A black gorilla man said. Chapter 558. It's really funny. The 2 most powerful people on this planet are no match for me. Planet-level ants can't even live for more than 3 days in the vast universe. Lei Xiao sneered. He was one of the 2 stellar-level powerhouses other than the captain and was the most senior among the 8 crew members. Once we take down this planet, we can have a good rest, said the man named Niu Nuo. He was another stellar-level powerhouse. Facing some indigenous planets that had not integrated into the universe, They naturally had a sense of superiority. No, we've been discovered. Someone is coming out. They're watching us. At this moment, another crew member spoke up and pointed down, his eyes filled with astonishment. On the sky garden on the top floor of the building, figures appeared one after another, and all of them looked up at the sky. Interesting. We underestimated the detection system of this planet. But one thing is right. The strongest person is really only an 8th Order planet warrior. Lei Xiao lowered his head and looked down. His gaze landed on Hong with a look of disdain. Let's go down and meet these natives. Niu Nua laughed loudly. As soon as his voice fell, he stepped on the aircraft and flew straight down. In an instant, 8 figures appeared above the building and looked at the higher-ups of the Alliance mockingly. On behalf of the Human Alliance, I welcome you to visit Earth. Looking at the 8 figures that appeared out of thin air above, the Alliance leader quickly calmed down after the initial shock. Look at the sky. Are those 8 guys aliens? What's their purpose for coming to Earth? Is he really a talent scout? Are they trying to occupy Earth? At this moment, the eyes of humans all over the world were focused on Lei Xiao, Niu Nua, and the other 8 scouts on the screen. Among the 8 figures, some were huge men like chimpanzees, some had elf ears and were extremely handsome, some had green skin, and some had reddish-brown skin. They had all kinds of characteristics that were different from ordinary humans. An 8th Order planet warrior and a 7th Order planet warrior. How boring. Lei Xiao had a smile on the corner of his mouth, and there was a sense of superiority in his eyes as he looked down on the natives. May I know what business do you have on Earth? Sensing the ridicule and disdain in Lei Xiao's eyes, the expressions of the Alliance leader, Hong, God of Thunder, and the others turned ugly. Vigilance filled their eyes. The planet you're living on is ownerless. I'm too lazy to go into the details. In short, this planet belongs to us. As for you, you are our accessories. Lei Xiao stood in the air and looked down at the upper echelons. From now on, we are your masters. Lei Xiao's deep voice reverberated throughout the entire building. With the transmission of the media, it soon spread to every corner of the Alliance. Accessory? Sure enough, they don't come with good intentions. Upon hearing Lei Xiao's words, the faces of the Alliance's upper echelons turned even gloomier. These aliens are really here to occupy our Earth, and they want us to be their slaves. How hateful. I just don't know how strong they are compared to the giant star beasts. All the humans in the Alliance clenched their fists and looked at Lei Xiao's group with hostility. What a bunch of noisy ants. Lei Xiao seemed to have heard the discussions of the upper echelons as he shouted coldly. As soon as he said that, his gaze landed on Hong. A black spear appeared in his hand, and he threw it out. With a swoosh, the black spear cut through the void with terrifying power. Wherever it passed, there would be a rumbling sound. Stellar level. It's not weaker than the giant star beasts. Damn it. Sensing the terrifying aura of the black spear, Hong, God of Thunder, and the others narrowed their eyes and tensed up. However, just as they were about to activate their territories to block the terrifying attack, the black spear shattered. The next moment, a loud bang sounded in everyone's ears. The sound was like something had exploded. Following the source of the sound, Lei Xiao, who was looking down on them in disdain a moment ago, turned into a pile of minced meat. Before the crowd could exclaim, the minced meat seemed to have been squeezed by a terrifying force and turned into nothingness. What happened? Why did Big Brother Lei Xiao disappear? That explosion just now and that pile of minced meat that disappeared. Could it be Big Brother Lei Xiao? He's dead. Looking at the empty spot where Lei Xiao was originally standing, Niu Nua, the chimpanzee, the green-skinned woman, and the other 4 crew members were completely stunned. What happened just now was too sudden and caught them off guard. They were at a loss. A second ago, their big brother Lei Xiao was still attacking that insignificant planetary state level 8, but in the next second, that planetary state level 8 was fine, but he was blasted into nothingness. Not even his bones were left. That guy who wanted to make us slaves is dead. Good kill. It's silent. It must be the Savior's doing. That's right. It must be the Savior. All the humans in the Alliance reacted and were excited. Who Who is it? In the sky above the building, Nyo Nua looked around, trying to find something. It was not hard to hear the fear in his voice. Who told you that it's ownerless? It's my territory. With a step, Chu Bei's figure disappeared from the spot. His indifferent voice also spread all over the world at this moment, shaking everyone's heart. Looking at the man who suddenly appeared in front of him out of thin air, Nyo Nua was so scared that his body trembled. He instinctively retreated quickly with a vigilant face. How? How could it be you? There's clearly no energy fluctuation on your body. Seeing Chu Bei's appearance, Nyo Nua and the 6 crew members behind him showed a bewildered and surprised expression at the same time. At their level of cultivation, anyone who glanced at them would have an impression of them. It was precisely because there was no energy fluctuation on the other party that they ignored this person at the beginning. It's you who killed Big Brother Lei Xiao, the green-skinned woman said with fear in her voice. The content of your previous words has already determined your fate. Chu Bei looked at Nyo Nua and the others calmly with an expressionless face. Sir, I surrender. I surrender too. Don't kill us. Meeting Chu Bei's cold gaze and hearing his cold and indifferent voice, Nyo Nua, the chimpanzee man, the green-skinned woman and the others chose to surrender at the first moment. Although they came with a mission and the weakest person had the strength of a planet level 9, they were not fools. Even the stellar level Lei Xiao was silently killed by the other party. If they resisted, there would only be one result, and that was death. The reason for the current situation was because of the *T AI system on their spaceship. The information they obtained after invading the system told them that the strongest person was only a planet level 8. But the truth was that on this planet, there were people who far surpassed the planet level. Even those who could easily obliterate a stellar level must be at least a universe-level super powerhouse. Sir, you may not know, but the planet you are on belongs to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, and we are the exploration team of the Empire. We are specifically responsible for searching for undiscovered planets. If we have offended you this time, we sincerely ask for your forgiveness. Nyo Nua quickly added without hesitation and even mentioned the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Chu Bei laughed. Looking at Nyo Nua, he didn't say anything and shot out a beam of light. Pong. Another low muffled sound. The stellar level Nyo Nua didn't even have time to react before he was reduced to nothing. No, don't. What you are doing now is completely ignoring the laws of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. You are not putting the Empire in your eyes. Even if you are a universe-level warrior, you cannot escape the Empire's judgment. With Nyo Nua's death, the remaining 6 crew members became even more frantic, completely sinking into fear. The 6 crew members didn't hesitate and immediately returned to the mini-flying devices. However, before they could even control the mini-flying devices to escape, space warped and both the people and the devices were reduced to nothing. At the same time, above the Pacific Ocean, within a spaceship's cockpit, a black-clothed man stared blankly at the scene unfolding on the screen. He was stunned. His legs stumbled and he collapsed onto the chair. Universe level. Why is it like this? Buluo was in a daze, muttering to himself, following which, as though he had thought of something, he stood up and slammed his hands on the control panel. Didn't you say that the strongest person was only a planet level 8? Then how did this universe-level warrior come about? If you can't give me an explanation, I will smash you today. Buluo roared, his roar filled with rage, his eyes bloodshot. Whether it was Lei Xiao, Nyo Nua, or the other 6 crew members, they were all companions who had followed him for a long time. They were born together as if they were dead, but now, because of a single mistake, they were all buried on this unknown planet. Reporting, Captain, the information I have intercepted from the cloud ended yesterday. However, just now, there was another wave of information. Please take a look. The AI system let out a sound, following which an image appeared on the screen. In the image was the scene of the Golden Horn Beast attacking the warbase and the human alliance resisting the Golden Horn Beast. It included the scene of Hong and Thunder God teaming up against the Space Beast, as well as the scene of Chu Bei instantly killing the Space Beast. Those 2-star Traveler-level ants actually have their own domains. What terrifying talents! Looking at the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, to have two star travelers with their own domains appear on one planet, it's extremely rare. Seeing Hong and Thunder God unleash their domains, Bulyuo's face revealed a look of shock. This is, suddenly, Bulyuo shrank back in pain, his gaze fixed on the golden-horned beast in the image. That shocked expression was as though he had remembered something. Chapter 559. As a direct descendant of the Newell and Shan family, he had received an excellent education since young, and was considered an extremely qualified and outstanding talent scout of the Empire. Within the Virtual Universe Network, he had seen the introduction of some of the most terrifying space beasts, and amongst them was this brutal and bloodthirsty beast. Golden Horned Beast. It's actually a golden horned beast. Star level, an infant golden horned beast. How could it appear on this planet? Such a young golden horned beast. If we can capture it alive, that would be worth more than 10 planets. After recognizing the golden horned beast, Bulyuo couldn't help but take a deep breath, shocked yet excited. This was an incomparably huge amount of wealth. There would definitely be universe-level warriors, or even undying beings willing to pay a huge price to purchase such a top-level bloodline infant space beast. However, very quickly, Bulyuo's expression became ugly again, because he saw the scene of Chu Bei destroying the golden horned beast's soul sea. Isn't this punk afraid of the Space Beast clan's revenge? Luckily the corpse is still here, we can still sell it for some money. Bulyuo looked at the scene in the video, muttering to himself, after which he seemed to have thought of something. Looking at the control panel, his expression became gloomy again. If you had released these scenes earlier, how could the 8 of them have died? Bulyuo's roar was filled with rage, his gaze fixed on Chu Bei. His fist couldn't help but clench tightly, punching the control panel. Help me contact the clan right now. Tell them about this planet. Do. In just a few seconds, the AI system projected an image out of thin air. In the virtual projection, a middle-aged man with sharp ears, slightly red eyes, extremely handsome, and somewhat similar to Bulyuo, appeared. Old clan leader. How could it be you? Recognizing the middle-aged man in the image, Bulyuo's body trembled. After reacting, his expression immediately became respectful. Obviously, this middle-aged man's appearance had caught Bulyuo off guard. The Newell and Shan family, a newly risen powerful family in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, including the current one, there were a total of 3 clan leaders. When they were leaders, these 3 had already reached the universe level. The current clan leader was Bulyuo Newell and Shan's grandfather, and the one before him was the second clan leader, over 10 generations higher than Bulyuo. His strength had already reached universe level 6. You are Bulyuo, the one who sent the message back? In the projection, the second patriarch looked at Bulyuo with a smile. I know very little about the younger generation of the family. This should be the first time I'm talking to you. Yes, old patriarch. Bulyuo's face was flushed, and he was extremely respectful. The excitement in his eyes was difficult to conceal, and he seemed to have forgotten that 8 of his companions had been killed. Ever since he was born, although he had seen the old patriarch from afar, he had never had the qualifications to talk to him. This was the first time. Those who grow up under the protection of their families are ultimately fragile. For someone like you who can serve as a scout in the Empire, adventuring and wandering in the universe can sharpen the edge that belongs to the strong. The old family leader looked at Bulyuo, his eyes filled with praise. Our Newell and Shan family has always judged our clansmen based on their contributions and strength. For you to be able to discover an ownerless planet and immediately inform the family, that is extremely rare. I've decided to give you 100 billion Black Dragon coins as a reward, and also give you the position of clan head. Junior thanks old patriarch for your kindness. Hearing the words clan head, Bulyuo's eyes stared wide open. Unlike the normal elders of the family, even if a clan head made a huge mistake, he wouldn't be removed from his position. At most, his benefits would be reduced. I've already found out the location of this ownerless planet. I've just sent out a universe-level elder. They will meet up with you very soon. The old patriarch said, Don't worry, old patriarch. Before the elders of the family arrive, Junior will definitely guard this planet and not let anyone else get it. Buluo patted his chest excitedly and guaranteed. Rumble, rumble, rumble. However, just as Buluo's words landed, the ship started shaking violently, including the entire control panel. Reporting, Captain. There's an external energy intrusion. At this time, the AI system's voice transmitted. Buluo, what's happening on your side? The old patriarch in the projection seemed to have sensed something as he let out an anxious voice. Rumble. However, just as the old patriarch's voice transmitted from the projection, following a rumble, the projection was cut off. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Newland Shan family. Old patriarch, what's happening on Buluo's side? Several elders at the side noticed that the old patriarch's expression had turned ugly, and they asked respectfully, "You all head out now. According to the coordinates Buluo sent back, you must rush to that planet as quickly as possible." The old patriarch ordered. Yes, old patriarch. The few elders who received the order all bowed at the same time, before disappearing from space. On the other side, in the skies above the Alliance headquarters, everyone's faces were filled with shock as they raised their heads, staring blankly above, their mouths wide open. High up in the skies, a translucent rippling giant palm appeared out of nowhere. Within the palm was a strangely shaped ship. It was the ship Buluo was in. That's an alien ship? Don't tell me there are aliens inside. That giant palm should be Lord Savior's doing? All the humans in the Alliance focused their attention on the image of the ship, discussing fervently. Pong. Another loud rumble. The ship exploded, becoming countless fragments of light. This is, looking at the familiar scene that had appeared on the control panel, Buluo's pupils shrank the moment he saw Chu Bei. An instinctive sense of fear welled up within him. A moment ago, he was still in the skies above the Pacific Ocean, talking to the old patriarch on the phone. However, the next moment, he was actually being held captive in the skies above the Alliance headquarters. This level of ability was simply too terrifying. His original plan was to leave Earth in his ship after speaking to the old patriarch on the phone, monitor Earth from space, and wait for the arrival of the patriarch's universe-level warrior. I'm just a scout for the Empire. You can't kill me. Buluo looked at Chu Bei in shock. The only one present who could have such a mysterious ability, it could only be this universe-level warrior who had killed 8 of his comrades with a wave of his hand. Chu Bei didn't make a sound, only calmly looking at Buluo, after which a beam of light shot into Buluo's forehead. The next moment, Buluo's pupils dilated, as though he had lost consciousness. However, very quickly, he returned to normal. Only his forehead was covered in cold sweat. What did you do to me? Buluo's expression was one of fear. The gaze he used to look at Chu Bei with was even more fearful. Just earlier, his brain had been invaded by a strange energy, causing him to momentarily freeze. The Newland Shan family even sent a universe-level warrior here. Interesting. Chu Bei spoke, his words carrying a hint of laughter. You read my memories. Hearing Chu Bei's words, Buluo's face turned pale. Since the opponent knew beforehand that the Newland Shan family would send a universe-level warrior here, then the opponent could definitely rush to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire to purchase the ownership rights of this unowned planet before the warriors from their family. The moment this planet had an owner, then it would truly have no fate with their family. At that time, if they were to make a move, they would be judged to have violated the Empire's laws, receiving the Empire's punishment. Even though their family was very strong, in front of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, it was still not worth mentioning. Chapter 560. You actually know how to look for reinforcements. It's a pity. Your understanding of me is too little. Chu Bei looked calmly at Buluo, a smile at the corner of his mouth. The elder of the clan that you are waiting for will come to find you very soon. Hearing Chu Bei's cold words, Buluo was stunned. After reacting, he hurriedly said, No, you cannot kill me. I am already a lifetime elder of the Newland Shan family. If you kill me, the head of the family will definitely not let you off. However, the moment his words left his mouth, an incomparably terrifying energy had already spread throughout his entire body. In the next moment, following a pitiful scream, Boluo's body exploded, returning to nothingness. Lord, this group of invading aliens, have you settled them all? Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. After communicating with their eyes, they looked at Chu Bei and asked respectfully. Chu Bei's gaze swept past Hong and Thunder God, nodding slightly in acknowledgement. Hearing that, Hong and Thunder God were overjoyed. The alliance leader beside them walked up. Lord, this Newland Shan family is the third largest family of the Callow Empire, a subsidiary country of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. The Callow Empire is similar to the Milky Way Empire where Earth is located. Both are elementary civilizations of the universe. Chu Bei's gaze swept past the alliance leader, his expression calm. However, this Callow Empire is far stronger than the Milky Way Empire. Within the 500-plus subsidiary countries of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, they are ranked in the top 3. The strongest warrior of the empire has even surpassed the universe level, stepping into the domain lord level. Lord, then what is the strength of the strongest warrior of the Newland Shan family? We killed their people. Do they know? The alliance leader seemed to have thought of something, opening his mouth to ask again. Chu Bei's expression didn't change, saying, the first head of the family, Universe Level 9. Their people will be here soon. Universe Level Warrior. In the meeting hall, the upper echelons had all heard of the Universe Level before. They knew how terrifying a warrior of this level was. Hence, when they found out that the first head of the Newland Shan family was already Universe Level 9, they couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts, inhaling a breath of cold air. In their opinion, the reason Chu Bei had been able to kill Space Beast, Boluo, and the others so easily was because he might have been a universe-level great being. And today, the head of the Newland Shan family was also a universe-level warrior and a pinnacle existence. How could they not be worried? Since I'm your temporary lord, I will ensure your safety. Don't worry. Chu Bei's gaze swept across the alliance leader and the other higher-ups. After giving them a reassuring look, he said, although you guys have already started to pay attention to cultivation, with your current cultivation methods, it will be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to reach the planet state. At this point, Chu Bei cleared his throat. I need to increase the strength of the alliance. Sir, what do you mean by that? The alliance leader vaguely guessed something, and his expression became somewhat agitated. I want to establish a force similar to the Dojo of Limits and the Palace of Ares in every corner of the world. It will be called Celestial Shops. Inside the Celestial Shops, we will sell all sorts of cultivation items. Anyone who wants to cultivate can enter the Celestial Shops and buy the corresponding treasures to cultivate. Chu Bei continued, Celestial Shops? Sir, what are they selling? Hong and Thunder God probed, with an expression of eagerness. Chu Bei nodded. You will know soon. As long as you frequent it, you will be able to reach the planetary state in 3 years, or even a month. What? The fastest we will be able to reach the planetary state in a month. Oh my God, that's too crazy. If it's true, then wouldn't people like me, who don't have much talent, only need 3 years to reach the planetary state? That's unbelievable. The moment the words came out of Chu Bei's mouth, it immediately caused a great uproar. On the top floor of the skyscraper, the eyes of the higher-ups of the Alliance were filled with excitement. Even Hong and Thunder God, who were already planet-grade powerhouses, couldn't wait to see the All-Heavens shop. At the same time, the humans of the Alliance in front of the screen were boiling, and the noise spread to every corner. Xi'an Region's 3rd High School. On the main road of the school, a group of students were dancing. Suexian, did you hear that? Our leader is going to create a force called the Celestial Shops. Everyone can visit and buy the corresponding treasures to cultivate. Wei Wen clenched his fist and looked at Suexian beside him, extremely excited. Yes, I will definitely visit the Celestial Shops to become a powerful warrior. Suexian's gaze was resolute. Luo Feng is now our leader's disciple. When the time comes, we will definitely get him to teach us well. Wei Wen laughed loudly. South Shore District, Luo Feng's home. Mom, my leg is already healed. When the Celestial Shops are established, I will immediately go and take a look. In the house, Luo Hua clenched his fist, his eyes filled with anticipation. The era of universal martial arts has really arrived. If I can really become a planetary state fighter in 3 years, that would be great. Luo Hong will put out the cigarette in his hand. On this day, the Alliance's leader announced for Chu Bei that anywhere in the world where there were people, there would be a celestial shops. On the second day, the celestial shops were established. There were already no less than 10,000 shops of all sizes. As for the headquarters of the celestial shops in this plane, it was set in the center of the continent, right next to the Alliance's main building. On the third day, all the celestial shops were opened. Every one of them was packed to the brim. On the fourth day, the Alliance's surveillance system issued a global warning that there was a large-scale invasion from outside. Ever since the Earth Alliance successfully established the celestial shops in every corner of the world, in just 3 days, the celestial shops were on the right track. However, on the fourth day, the entire Alliance's Level 1 alarm sounded. Different from the invasion of Boluo and the others, this invasion of Earth wasn't hidden at all. It was completely exposed without any restraint. What's with this alarm? Don't tell me, another danger has appeared? Damn, it really hasn't been peaceful recently. Do you guys think it has something to do with the Newland Shan family? Quickly look in the sky. There are 2 battleships appearing. The alarm sounded. The humans of the Alliance immediately tensed up. They all instinctively stopped what they were doing and looked around. Very quickly, they turned their gazes to the distant skies. There, they saw 2 incomparably huge battleships appear from space. On each battleship, there were hundreds of small universe ships parked. On the deck of the battleship flying in front, there were 3 men dressed in gray robes. Behind them, there were 30 black silhouettes. Behind the black silhouettes, there were over 1,000 green-clothed men. Within the Newland Shan family, different statuses wore different colors of robes. Like the 3 gray-robed men at the front, their cultivation levels had all reached the universe level. They were the high-level elders of the Newland Shan family. As for the 30 black silhouettes, they were all 9 stars pinnacle star-level warriors. As for the 1,000 green-clothed men at the back, their cultivation levels were Star Travelers 8 and above and Star Travelers 9 and below. Damn it, it must be them. Newland Shan's people, they really came. The humans of the Alliance stared blankly at the battleships in the sky, their expressions becoming tense. 3 universe levels, 36 Star Travelers 9 and above, 600 Star Travelers 1 and below, 400 Star Travelers. At the same time, within the meeting room of the Alliance headquarters, Babata explained the power distribution of the 2 battleships. 3 universe-level warriors came all of a sudden. Hearing Babata's words, the Alliance leader, Hong, and the upper echelons all had serious expressions. Even though they knew that the Newland Shan family would be arriving soon and were prepared, they never would have thought that there would be 3 universe-level warriors leading the group. If that was the case, there was no point in them repairing the laser cannons. Even the Star Travelers didn't fear the laser cannons, much less the terrifying universe-level beings. Everyone immediately entered a state of alert. The Alliance leader looked at the huge battleships filled with people above and immediately gave the order. His voice spread throughout the entire Alliance. I wonder if the leader can deal with these people. The upper echelons of the Alliance subconsciously looked towards Chu Bei's direction, their faces filled with worry. In front of the interstellar fleet from the Newland Shan family, they had no way to resist. They could only place their hopes on this mysterious leader of unknown origins. High up in the sky, Elder Pu Da, according to the coordinates Boluo sent back, it's definitely this planet. We've already successfully connected to this planet's network. It's exactly as Boluo described. It's indeed an ownerless planet. Also, 4 days ago, the silhouette of the golden horned beast appeared. It's a pity that the golden horned beast was killed and only its corpse was left behind. Within the battleship, a star-level warrior used the AI system to capture the relevant information of Earth and immediately reported to the tall man in the middle of the 3 universe-level warriors. I got it. The man called Pu Da nodded slightly, his gaze focused, and he said solemnly, Boluo's energy has disappeared. What? Boluo's energy has disappeared. Don't tell me. He's already dead? Was it done by the universe-level warrior on this planet? Damn it. He's not putting our Newell and Shan family in his eyes. Hearing Pu Da's words, the 1,000 Newell and Shan guards were stunned, filled with shock. After reacting, their faces were extremely gloomy. Pu Da hovered at the head of the battleship. With a buzzing sound, a screen appeared in front of him. On the screen, a man appeared. It was the old head of the Newell and Shan family. Old head. Pu Da bowed respectfully. The man on the screen was the second-generation head of the Newell and Shan family, Yuting Newell and Shan. Yuting Newell and Shan nodded, his eyes scrutinizing Pu Da. You've arrived at that planet? Yes, old head. Pu Da replied and said, Buluo's energy has disappeared. Chapter 561. As expected, he's dead. Hearing the tall man's report, the Imperial Court Newell and Shan shook his head and sighed. He seemed to have guessed the result. His face sunk. Kill everyone on this planet. That's enough to give Buluo an answer. After that, head to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and buy this planet. I'll listen to you. Hearing that, Pu Da bowed once again. Elder Pu Da, what are you planning to do now? Thousands of Newell and Shan guards awaited Pu Da's orders. Didn't you hear what the head said? Kill everyone on this planet. Pu Da turned and glanced at the Newell and Shan guards behind him. His voice cold. Listen to my orders. Disperse and head out. Kill all humans. Leave none alive. Yes, Elder. With a uniform sound, countless beams of light shot out from the battleship, like a meteor shower shooting in different directions. As the Newell and Shan warriors on the distant battleship didn't try to hide themselves, all of their actions and even their conversations were captured by the Alliance's surveillance system and spread across the entire planet. There are so many warriors. Are they trying to kill us all? Lord Savior, can he handle it alone? Looking at the densely packed beams of light, the entire Alliance fell into panic. Where's the strongest warrior on this planet? Come out and accept your death. At this time, Pu Da's voice resounded from the distant skies, bringing with it a terrifying ripple of energy, shaking the space. The two elders beside him, who were also universe-level warriors, didn't speak. However, their expressions were cold. A powerful aura emanated from them, giving off a suffocating pressure. Lord, the Alliance leader immediately looked at Chu Bei, his expression extremely nervous, his eyes filled with worry. From what he thought, Chu Bei was a universe-level warrior. He might be fine. However, against the Newell and Shan guards, he wasn't sure if anything would happen to the others. However, before the Alliance leader could even finish his words, Chu Bei's silhouette had already vanished. At this time, a huge black hole appeared on all the screens. These black holes seemed to cover every corner of the planet. It seemed to have a terrifying swallowing power. The space around it was distorted. The next second after these black holes appeared, shrill screams rang out from every corner of the world. These cries were incomparably painful, as if they were suffering from inhumane torture, causing one to feel pity for them. Look, those who wanted to invade our homeland were all sucked in. Haha, this must be the Lord's doing. That's for the best. They actually wanted to kill all of us. This is their fate. My Lord is mighty. In the images sent back by the satellite, the thousands of Newell and Mountain guards that flew out from the battleship hadn't even landed when they were sucked in by the black hole. The moment they were sucked in by the black hole, the bodies of the Newell and Mountain guards started to crack and distort, and what followed after was the agonizing screams. These mournful cries didn't last for long, and those Newell and Mountain guards were quickly dragged in, disappearing without a trace. What's going on? What the hell happened? What is that black hole? Why does it possess such a terrifying, devouring power? On the battleship, the three universe-level warriors of the Newell and Shan family squinted their eyes, exchanging glances, revealing looks of shock. At the same time, their gazes were filled with caution, looking all around. They had lived for tens of thousands of years and had seen many things, but it was the first time they had seen such a strange scene. Close to 1,000 guards of their Newell and Shan family, in that moment, they were all sucked in by the strange black hole that appeared out of nowhere, including 36 star level 9 pinnacle warriors. Old family leader, Did you see that? Puda took a deep breath, looking respectfully at the man on the screen before him. At this time, the Imperial Newell Shan on the screen went silent. He was the same as Puda and the other two, his face filled with shock. Callow Empire's Newell Shan family, right? I happen to have some free time now, so I'll make a trip to your place. Just as Puda was about to ask, a calm voice floated through the air. In the next moment, a young man in a purple robe appeared in front of him. It's you. Puda and the other two's gazes immediately focused on Chu Bei. They subconsciously distanced themselves from the other party as vigilance and fear rose on their faces. They didn't even know how the other party appeared before them. There wasn't even a ripple of energy. There wasn't any warning. Chu Bei glanced at Puda and the other two in disdain, ignoring them. His gaze landed on the Imperial Newell Shan on the screen. Snorting coldly, "Your family's way of doing things. I don't like it. There's no need for it to exist." The moment Cold in the Forest's words landed, a sharp light shot out from Chu Bei's eyes, directly shattering the screen. Domain Lord. Sensing the pressure emanating from Chu Bei's body that caused them to be unable to move for a short moment, Puda and the other two universe-level warriors' faces turned pale, once again looking at Chu Bei with only fear in their eyes. Even their first-generation leader Newell Shan, a level 9 universe-level warrior's full power wouldn't be able to suffocate them. However, the person before them was able to do it. That meant there was only one possibility. The person before them was even above the level 9 universe level, stepping into the Domain Lord level. How could such a small planet without a master have a Domain Lord? Puda and the other two stared blankly at Chu Bei. They were already numb, unable to summon any will to resist. Their Callow Empire's strongest was a Domain Lord. No matter what, they didn't dare imagine that the strongest on this planet without a master would also be a Domain Lord. If they knew this, not just them, even the entire Newell Shan family wouldn't dare have any ideas about this planet without a master. Domain Lord, we didn't mean to barge in. Facing Chu Bei's cold gaze, Puda seemed to have recalled their current situation and hurriedly spoke. However, before he could finish begging for mercy, a giant palm swept over him. Sensing the terrifying pressure within the huge palm, Puda and the other two universe-level warriors' hearts sank. They tried to mobilize the energy within their bodies for a final struggle. However, they discovered that everything had been sealed. In the next moment, a black hole appeared within the huge palm. The hole was like a savage beast's mouth, bringing with it an irresistible swallowing force. Following 3 pitiful screams, the huge palm swept past and vanished into space. Along with it, Newell Shan's 3 universe-level warriors also vanished. Amidst the rumbling, the distant skies quietened down, leaving behind only 2 huge battleships. After which, Chu Bei waved his hand, and the 2 battleships landed in the huge empty space before the Alliance building. Dead. They're all dead. 3 universe-level warriors, gone just like that? Didn't that punk Babata say that universe-level warriors already have a position within the Empire that cannot be underestimated? But why, in the hands of the leader, are they no different from ants? If that's the case, doesn't that mean our leader has already surpassed the universe level? Personally witnessing the process of Newell Shan's 3 universe-level warriors being destroyed with one palm, including Hong, Thunder God, and the rest of the upper echelons, were all dumbfounded, their eyes filled with shock and astonishment. Babata, you've seen more than us. Tell me, just how strong is my master? Luo Feng gulped, tilting his head to look at Babata beside him and couldn't help but ask. His mind was still replaying the scene of Chu Bei killing the 3 elders of the Newell Shan family. Those were 3 universe-level warriors. Towards Luo Feng's question, Babata shook his head. From the time we met until now, I feel that he hasn't revealed his true strength. Even when he killed the universe-level warriors, he didn't even use 1% of his strength. I can't judge. Chapter 562. Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. Kaluo Empire, Northeast. This was a floating space island. It was originally just an ordinary nameless island in the vast universe, but because the Newell Shan family settled down, it was named Newell Shan Star Island. Following the rise of the Newland Shan family's reputation in the Kaluo Empire, this space island became more and more famous, becoming a place that many large powers paid attention to. Around the island, many planets revolved, and on top of them, many mountain peaks rose from the ground. On the continuous mountain peaks, there were many towering pavilions. In the center of these mountain peaks, an exceptionally majestic palace stood tall, surrounded by clouds and mist, appearing majestic and grand. Looking carefully, one would notice that the surface of the palace was covered in a layer of purple mist. The mist flowed, giving one a sense of majesty. On the Newland Shan Star Island, teams of Newland Shan guards were scattered all around, scanning the area, almost like an inescapable net. This level of defense, even if a fingernail-sized space beast were to barge in, it would be immediately detected. At this time, there were close to 100 silhouettes within the palace, every one of them emitting a valiant aura. These people were mostly the high-level elders of the Newland Shan family. The weakest amongst them had already reached the star level 9. Pong. At this time, an explosion could be heard from the main seat, following which a middle-aged man was sent flying, his face pale. "Old head, what happened to you?" Within the palace, the group of Newland Shan elders saw that the middle-aged man had been sent flying, spitting out blood. They all rushed up, their faces filled with worry, but most of them were shocked. "Quick, everyone get ready for battle." "Domain Lord, it's a Domain Lord warrior." The middle-aged man who was sent flying was the second-generation head of the Newland Shan family, Yu Ting. The energy that sent him flying was Chu Bei's gaze. He didn't have time to care about his injuries. After being supported by the group of elders, he immediately let out anxious words. The fear in his voice could be heard. "Old head, what Domain Lord warrior? What happened to your body? You were perfectly fine. How did you get injured?" Hearing Yu Ting's words, the group of elders within the palace were even more confused, immediately asking, "Wrong, we were very wrong. That person from that unknown planet. He's not a universe level. He's a Domain Lord. Quickly ask the Patriarch to come out of seclusion." Yu Ting glanced at the group of elders and immediately answered with a look of fear on his face. "What? That guy is a Domain Lord." In the main hall, the elders obviously knew who Yu Ting was talking about. When they heard the words Territorial Lord, their expressions were immediately stunned. But by the time they came to their senses, before they could ask the first-generation Patriarch to come out of seclusion, the hall shook violently with a boom. At the next moment, they felt an unparalleled and terrifying pressure filling up every corner of the hall and enveloping them. It seeped into their bodies from all directions and was everywhere. This pressure seemed to have come from above the 9 heavens, directly shaking the depths of their sea of consciousness, inexplicably causing their hearts to palpitate. He's here." Sensing this terrifying pressure, Yu Ting's expression turned extremely unsightly. Then, another enormous bang that shook the heavens resounded out. The entire hall seemed as if it was crushed by a mighty force that was difficult to resist, and it instantly shattered into pieces before transforming into a rain of light that dissipated. The hall disappeared and the group of elders saw the outside world, only to see that in the sky above their heads, there was an indescribably huge figure. His size was even bigger than the entire Newland Mountain Star Island. He just hovered in front of the Newland Mountain Star Island, lowering his head, his huge eyes staring coldly at the Newland Mountain Star Island. At the same time, all the humans of the Alliance on Earth were stunned. All of them raised their heads to look at the sky in a daze, as if lightning had struck. Their eyes didn't even blink, completely numb, only to see that in the distant sky, an image appeared. In the image was the scene of a giant hovering in front of the Newland Mountain Star Island. That giant, isn't he the Overlord? How can this be? The Overlord is clearly in the Alliance building, right? Why would there be a person that looks exactly the same? And his size is countless times bigger. That island should be where the Newland Mountain family is, which means it's already in the vast starry sky outside of our Earth. The Overlord's methods are too terrifying. When the humans of the Alliance saw the giant's appearance clearly, They all sucked in a cold breath. After a while, their faces were all filled with excitement. They were all cheering for the strength of their overlord. Overlord, that is. On the top floor of the Alliance building, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances before looking at Chu Bei at the same time, gulping. At this time, it wasn't just the two of them, Luo Feng, Babata, the Alliance leader, and the upper echelon's gazes all landed on Chu Bei. The other party was clearly right beside them. How could he appear in front of the Newland Mountain Star Island? And his size was so huge and terrifying. That's only one of your master's energy clones. Chu Bei looked at Luo Feng and said, answering everyone's questions. My lord, my previous master also had a second and third doppelganger, but even he couldn't cross the Milky Way Empire and arrive at the Callow Empire in an instant like you did. Babata took a deep breath, his mouth wide open. As long as one's power is strong enough, with a thought, one can appear in any corner of the universe. Chu Bei's lips curled into a smile, extremely calm. Is there really such a powerful person? Hearing Chu Bei's words, Babata muttered to himself. This vast universe was so huge. If such a person really existed, then just how terrifying would he be? At least, his previous master was far from being able to do that. At the same time, on the Newland Mountain Star Island, Yu Ting, the group of elders, and the countless Newland mountain guards within the mountain all looked in fear at the huge silhouette before them. And in the space between the Star Islands, one after another universe-level warriors popped their heads out. My God, just who did the Newland Shan family offend? This pressure is definitely a domain lord. Doesn't our Callow Empire only have one domain lord, the Emperor? Then who is he? If I'm not wrong, he should be from another empire. Then this Newland Shan family really doesn't have eyes. They actually offended a domain lord. A group of universe-level warriors popped their heads out in disgust. What happened? Suddenly, a low voice resounded from the depths of the Newland Mountain Star Island, following which a powerful energy swept over. This voice, it's the first family leader. He's come out. Hearing the familiar voice that they hadn't heard in a long time, the group of elders' fearful expressions eased, their eyes filled with anticipation. Very quickly, a white-robed man flew over from the depths of the island. He glanced at the huge Chu Bei's energy clone, his eyebrows creasing. This white-robed man was Newland Shan, the first family leader of the Newland Shan family, a universe level 9 warrior. Greetings, old ancestor. The second family leader, Yu Ting, immediately bowed towards Newland Shan. Speak, what's going on? The white-robed man extended his hand and pointed at Chu Bei's energy clone, at the same time looking at Yu Ting, questioning him. For the sake of a planet, you actually dared to threaten to kill all life forms. Such behavior, we can't let you live. Without waiting for Yu Ting to answer Newland Shan's question, Chu Bei's emotionless cold voice resounded throughout the vast space. The moment his words landed, the energy clone that was even larger than the entire island moved. He opened his huge mouth and sucked in fiercely. In an instant, his huge mouth seemed to have transformed into a bottomless black abyss, able to swallow everything in the universe. Following screams, the blur of Newland Shan guards on the island were all sucked into the huge mouth, including the star-level elders. Damn it, Yu Ting, during the time I was in seclusion, just who did you offend? Under the devouring of Chu Bei's energy clone, the entire Newland Shan Star Island started to distort. The first family leader Newland Shan roared furiously at Yu Ting. However, no matter how he used his abilities, he was unable to escape from this terrifying devouring force. Chi-Chi. In just a few seconds, the huge Star Island and the entire Newland Shan family, including Newland Shan, all disappeared from the space. No more. My God. In the blink of an eye, the Newland Shan family, the third great family of the Callow Empire, was annihilated just like that. Just where did that domain lord come from? In the distance, a group of universe-level warriors poked their heads out after personally witnessing this scene. They were all stunned, all of them in a daze. Only thick shock remained in their eyes. Not good. He discovered us. Suddenly, Chu Bei's energy clone moved. He turned his head, his eyes shooting out two resplendent beams of light, crimson red like blood, gushing out, almost like large amounts of red flames, shocking everyone. Ah! Almost at the same time, the group of universe-level warriors watching all shook. Under that terrifying gaze, it was almost as though there was a consciousness controlling their bodies, wanting to destroy their souls. Luckily, just as their souls were about to crumble, the energy retreated, returning their bodies to them. He didn't do anything to us. Is this the Domain Lord's pressure? So powerful. Following the departure of Chu Bei's energy clone, the group of warriors could finally relax, looking at the cold sweat on their foreheads. It was almost as though they had just been on the brink of death. Chapter 563. Within the space of the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, the spectating universe-level warriors hadn't even recovered from their shock when a gold-robed silhouette appeared in their vision. This silhouette floated where the Newland Mountain Star Island was previously. He was obviously standing there, yet he gave off an unfathomable feeling. "Greetings, Emperor." Seeing the appearance of the gold-robed silhouette, the group of universe-level warriors were all stunned. After reacting, they immediately flew up and bowed, their faces filled with respect. This gold-robed man was the Emperor of the Callow Empire, and also the #1 warrior, the only Domain Lord level being. "Your Majesty, did you see the scene with Newell and Shan just now?" A universe-level warrior tried to ask. "I saw it." Callow Emperor's gaze swept past the group of universe-level warriors, nodding slightly. "Then are you just going to watch him destroy the Newell and Shan family? After all, the Newell and Shan family is still within your jurisdiction." A universe-level frowned, his expression ugly. "I can't stop him." Callow Emperor shook his head, his face filled with helplessness. "He's already surpassed the Domain Lord level." "What? Above the Domain Lord level? How is this possible?" "Don't tell me. He's a Sector Lord." Looking at the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield, how many Sector Lords are there? But speaking of Sector Lords, I've seen the few from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Why don't I have any impression of him at all? Hearing Callow Emperor's words, the group of universe-level warriors all had a change of expression, their faces filled with shock. But when they thought about the pressure that Chen Shi released before leaving, and how a mere gaze suppressed them to the point they were unable to arouse the slightest intention to resist, they felt slightly relieved in their hearts. When did I ever say he's a Sector Lord? A Sector Lord's energy isn't as terrifying as his. Callow Emperor's gaze focused, saying, "If I'm not wrong, he doesn't belong to the Black Dragon Mountain starfield." "Emperor, what you mean is, his power level is above a Sector Lord." Hearing Callow Emperor's words again, the group of universe-level warriors were completely stunned, glancing at each other. Above a Sector Lord? What kind of being was that? That was an undying being of legends. If these words didn't come from Callow Emperor's mouth, they definitely wouldn't believe that the person who appeared before could be an undying being. "Do any of you know, how did the Newell and Shan family offend that mysterious being?" Callow Emperor asked. To Callow Emperor's question, the group of universe-level warriors shook their heads, expressing that they didn't know. "This matter is over. Let's disperse. I have a feeling that it won't be long before this mysterious expert enters our sights again." As soon as he finished speaking, the Callow Emperor's figure disappeared. The great beings of the universe looked at each other and then disappeared into the starry sky. In the air above the Alliance building, Lord Callow, S's Alliance leaders T, Alliance leader Emperors, S leader, SSSS Emperor, S Emperors, T, S's, S. Finally, there's nothing left to worry about. Everything can return to normal. Not only the Alliance leader, even Hong, Thunder God, and the upper echelon of the Alliance all let out a sigh of relief, as though the stone in their hearts had been lifted. Lord Callow Emperor is mighty. The humans of the Alliance all reacted, shouting out in shock, their shouts filled with excitement. "Lord Callow Emperor, what do you plan to do next?" The Alliance leader looked respectfully at Chu Bei. "Naturally, it's to tell the people outside that this planet has an owner." Chu Bei's gaze first swept past the Alliance leader, after which he patted Luo Feng's shoulder. "Let's go. I'll bring you to see the vast world." As he spoke, before Luo Feng could even react, he had already been brought away by Chu Bei, along with the AI life form Babata. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Jade Rock Star. Even though this was a rather desolate planet, it was where the Empire's government was located. Anyone within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire who wanted to purchase the rights to this planet had to come here. These are the coordinates of this planet. Regarding its samples, data, etc., they've all been placed here. Chu Bei sat in his chair, not too high profile, following the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's procedures. If the interstellar coordinates and records are confirmed to have no problems, you'll receive a reward of 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. One of the officials said, "According to the rules, discovering a planet without an owner gives one the priority to purchase it. I want to buy it." Chu Bei looked at the official, smiling. "What? You want to buy this life planet?" The group of officials who were originally discussing, after hearing Chu Bei's words, their faces were immediately filled with shock. This wasn't buying weapons or treasures. A planet with life and civilization was extremely expensive. "That's right." Chu Bei nodded in response. "The owner of the Myriad Heavens shop, right?" The Empire official looked at Chu Bei. "As the first person to discover this planet without an owner, you naturally have the right to purchase it. However, I have to remind you, just now when we sent the data of this planet to the Empire headquarters, the reply they gave us was that they will give you the highest reward of 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. So?" Chu Bei smiled knowingly, waiting for the Imperial official's next words. "You should know, the Empire will give you a reward of at least 10 billion Black Dragon dollars, and at most 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. Your planet's reward is the highest, hence the price you'll need to purchase it will naturally be the highest." Speaking up to this point, the Empire official was both expectant and nervous. "If you really want to buy this planet without an owner, you'll need to spend 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars. My God, just what kind of planet did he discover? He actually needs 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars to buy it. If we were to buy it, wouldn't it cost at least 10 trillion Black Dragon dollars? That's why this planet thing isn't something normal people can afford. No matter what, it has to be at least a universe level 8 or above warrior. He doesn't look familiar. He doesn't look like a famous person from the Empire. However, even if he can't afford it, there's still a reward of 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. He's much richer than us." The surrounding people heard the official's price, discussing and exclaiming, "I wonder if you can take out this money?" The official looked at Chu Bei with some anticipation. If the other party could really take out this amount of money, then his official path could be directly used to soar. Of course, he didn't have much hope, after all, to be able to take out 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars. They were all famous people within the Empire. "Money? I don't have it." Chu Bei shrugged his shoulders at the official. Just as he was frowning, he flipped his right hand. A 9-colored light appeared in his palm, smiling. "I wonder if this little toy is worth 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars?" As Chu Bei's voice landed, the official and the surrounding people all turned their gazes towards the 9-colored light in Chu Bei's palm, seriously sizing it up. This is a piece of bone from the whirling beast. Look at this bone pattern. It's an adult whirling beast. It's said that an adult whirling beast has the strength of an official level undying. Looking closely, within the 9-colored light in Chu Bei's palm, there was a small piece of bone. It was releasing a resplendent 9-colored light. The surrounding people quickly recognized the origin of this small piece of bone. Their faces filled with astonishment. They couldn't help but exclaim out loud. Whirling beast, an existence that was on par with the space beasts in the vast starry sky. On the way here, a whirling beast attacked Chu Bei in the starry sky. Chu Bei casually killed it and took its bone and core. It's really the whirling beast bone, and it's the purest one. Within the palace, some of the strong warriors who knew about the secrets of the whirling beast, after confirming it once again, a strange look flashed across their eyes. They turned and left one after another. "You still haven't answered my question. Is it worth 3 trillion? Chu Bei played with the whirling bone in his hand, smiling as he looked at the official. Hearing Chu Bei's words, The official recovered from his shock and hurriedly said, "The owner of the All Heavens shop, right? I have to report this to my superiors. I wonder if you can give me the whirling bone first?" "Of course, no problem." Chu Bei smiled, nonchalantly tossing the whirling bone to him. He naturally wasn't worried that the other party would play tricks. If that was the case, he would just wipe out the Black Dragon Mountain Empire with one slap. "Thank you for your understanding. I'll be right back." The official carefully received the whirling bone, once again looking at Chu Bei with eyes filled with respect. The other party was truly his benefactor. Chapter 564. Black Dragon Mountain, the sacred land of the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. It was also the backing of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's royal family. The formation of the Black Dragon Mountain was due to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's founding emperor connecting the space of the universe with his internal world. It's indeed a sacred land. Boluo was flying in space. He was the official that received Chu Bei. Looking out, there was a resplendent star above the mountain. That was a star that an undying brought from the vast universe. Covering the sky with one hand, plucking down the stars, that was an undying. If one day I can become an undying, Boluo looked up at the star in the sky. Before he could finish his thoughts, he couldn't help but shake his head and laugh bitterly. Undying, to him, was too far away. Looking at the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield, there were about 100 sector lords. However, according to the probability of a sector lord breaking through to undying, 100 sector lords would all die of old age one day. A sector lord's lifespan was limited. Only an undying was an eternal existence. After flying for a while, Boluo stopped in the air above the most majestic mountain range. This was a huge black mountain range over 100,000 kilometers tall. It was completely black, almost like a huge black dragon with wings. It was the main peak of the Black Dragon Mountain. Boluo let out a long breath. Even though he had been to this main peak many times, he still felt shocked. "Boluo, what's the matter? Have you met another mysterious, ownerless planet that's hard to determine?" Boluo appeared in the air above the mountain. A powerful voice filled with authority resounded from the depths of the main peak. "Lord Lei Fu, I came here to ask you to evaluate whether this bone is worth 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars." Even though Boluo had an answer in his heart, he still didn't dare make a decision on his own. After he said that, Boluo's body flashed, flying towards a luxurious palace on the peak. At the edge of the cliff in front of the palace stood a bald old man with an aquiline nose. The temperature around him seemed to have dropped slightly. He was the top 3 sector lords of the Black Dragon Mountain star field. "Hargray, what bone is worth 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars?" Hearing Boluo's words, Hargray creased his eyebrows. "Lord, you'll know when you see it." Boluo flew in front of Hargray, first bowing respectfully, then carefully handed over the 9-colored ball of light in his hand. This is the bone of an adult dancing beast." Hargray took the 9-colored ball of light and exclaimed 2 seconds after it entered his hand. A hint of surprise flashed through his eyes. Judging from the texture and energy fluctuations of the whirling beast bone, if it was refined well, it would be a perfect immortal-grade weapon. Soon, Hargray seemed to have thought of something. His 2 hands suddenly grabbed Boluo's arms tightly. His expression was abnormally agitated, and his words were filled with excitement and urgency. "Tell me quickly, where did you get this whirling beast bone? Where was the body of the dancing beast? Where's the beast core?" "Beast core?" Looking at the suddenly excited Hargrave, Boluo shook his head and said, "This was sent by a person of unknown origin. He found an unowned planet and had no money, so he used this whirling beast bone to pay 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars." After saying that, a curious look appeared in Brow's eyes. "Sir, what's wrong? Is there a problem with the whirling bone? Are there many people who know about this whirling bone?" Hargrave immediately asked. Boluo nodded. "No less than 100 people. Damn it, I'm afraid they all know, and they're already on their way." After getting the answer, Hargrave let out a long sigh. "Sir, what's wrong with you? Is there something special about this whirling bone?" Boluo became more and more confused. "You don't know, The most precious part of the whirling beast isn't its bone, but its beast core. The beast core of an adult whirling beast can directly allow a sector lord to step into the undying realm. Hargrave took a deep breath, his eyes burning with passion. But an adult whirling beast has the power of an official level undying. How can we sector lords get its beast core? Now that the whirling bone has appeared, it is a great opportunity that is hard to come by in 10,000 years. Sir, you mean that mysterious person, other than the whirling beast bone, also has a whirling beast core? Bulow reacted. But he has the whirling beast bone, so his power must be terrifying. Do you think this adult whirling beast was killed by him? Hargrave let out a cold laugh. An adult whirling beast has the power of an official level undying. In the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field, only a God Master can kill him. If he has the power of a God Master, do you think he can't take out a mere 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars? Hearing Hargrave's words, Bulow's eyes turned. After thinking for a while, he nodded in agreement. What he said made sense. Then why does he have the whirling beast bone? Bulow asked again. In the vast space, there are often terrifying undercurrents. Every 10,000 years, there will occasionally be powerful beings that are killed by the undercurrents. According to records, 30,000 years ago, there was a space beast that was killed by the undercurrents. Finally, its corpse was split up by the various powers. From what I see, this whirling beast is the same, and that unknown person you speak of must have coincidentally found the whirling beast's corpse. So, sir, you think the beast core is still on him? Bulow continued to ask. We'll know soon enough. If we're late, I'm afraid I won't have a share. After saying that, Hargrave didn't bother with Bulow anymore. He became a god rainbow and left. Jade Rock Star. In the main hall of the official residence, Chu Bei was leisurely sitting on a chair, tasting the tea that was specially provided. As the news of the whirling beast bone spread, more and more people began to gather around Chu Bei. They wanted to see what this mysterious person who found an ownerless planet and had the whirling beast bone looked like. Shio. Amidst the rumbling, multiple god rainbows flew over. Look, someone's here. At this moment, someone in the hall shouted loudly. Following that, everyone turned to look towards the east in unison. This group of people were all wearing the same robes. Behind them, there was a sword design that was especially obvious. They are from the Divine Sword Planet. Some of the more observant people in the crowd exclaimed. The leader is the Divine Sword Sector Lord. Why would such a being appear here? Could it be that he's taken a fancy to another ownerless planet and is prepared to buy it? Some warriors recognized the leader of the Eastern group. Their pupils shrunk, their expressions shocked. Shio. Before the crowd's exclamations faded, several more rainbows arrived from the west. This group of people were all wearing fiery red Taoist robes. On the chest of their robes, there was a blazing flame design. Those are people from the Fire Cloud planet. Oh my God! The leader is the Fire Cloud Sector Lord. Why did he come to this small jade rock planet like the Divine Sword Sector Lord? After the warriors in the hall recognized the fiery red Taoist robes, especially the red-haired old man who led the group, their expressions changed again. Rumble. But after a few seconds, there was a rumbling sound in the distance. Then, several more rainbows streaked across the sky. These rainbows came on 7 colored ribbons. It was very beautiful. People from the Luo Shui planet. As expected, there's not a single man. Rumor has it that people from the Luo Shui planet almost never go out. Why are they here? Isn't the leader the Luo Shui Sector Lord? The members of the third team were all women, and the leader was a beautiful woman in a white dress. I didn't expect you two to be faster than me. You're really well informed. The beautiful woman came and looked at the Divine Sword Sector Lord and the Fire Cloud Sector Lord. She smiled sweetly. I knew it. I'm not the only one who knows about this good news. Divine Sword Sector Lord shook his head. I didn't expect them to come too. This time, it's hard to say who will belong to them. The Fire Cloud Sector Lord looked around inside. His words carried a smile and a hint of helplessness. Just as the Fire Cloud Sector Lord finished speaking, another 10 teams flew over from a distant planet. The leaders all had powerful auras. Every move they made released a terrifying might. These leaders all knew each other. When they saw each other, they greeted each other and exchanged pleasantries. Oh my God, is there something wrong with my eyes? Southflow Sector Lord, Black Wind Sector Lord, Bailey Sector Lord, Sima Sector Lord, Shangwan Sector Lord, Sekong Sector Lord. Why are there so many Sector Lords? Could it be that a very good ownerless planet has appeared? It can actually alarm so many Sector Lords. Looking at our entire Black Dragon Mountain star field, there are no more than 100 Sector Lords. Any one of these Sector Lords is the lord of a planet, or even multiple planets. Today, at least half of them are gathered here. The group of people in the hall had already come outside. Not only them, more and more experts heard the news and gathered from afar. When these experts saw dozens of rarely seen Sector Lords gathered together, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. They looked at each other and asked questions. Their faces were at a loss, as if they were struck by lightning. Even the experts who personally witnessed the arrival of the Sector Lords were dumbfounded. Their brains seemed to have lost the ability to think. They stood there like wooden blocks, staring blankly at the various Sector Lords. Because they did not know the whole story, the scene in front of them was too sudden and unexpected. They were caught off guard. Chapter 565. As expected, you old fellows all came. The allure of the undying is truly too great. Just at this time, a voice filled with helplessness and laughter sounded from the distance, reverberating through the entire Jade Rock Star. The powerful voice was still reverberating when a bald eagle-nosed old man appeared in everyone's line of sight. The one following behind him was the official Buluo. That's the Sacred Land's Lord Hargray. The top 3 Sector Lords in the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield. He actually came as well. That's not right. He's in charge of the ownerless planets. If there's a planet he fancies, wouldn't it be fine if he directly took it? Why would he personally come? Also, what is the allure of the undying that he spoke of? I'm afraid his goal is the same as the other Sector Lords. Only, I don't know what their goal is. Countless experts' gazes immediately gathered on Hargray's body, all sorts of discussions interweaving. Hargray, even though you're a bit stronger than us, we won't give you any face on this matter. A Sector Lord laughed. Of course I know I don't have that much face. This opportunity will depend on one's own ability. Hargray stroked his beard. After replying to that Sector Lord with a smile, his eyes narrowed, landing on Chu Bei's body. You're the one who wants to use the whirling beast bone for 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars to buy an ownerless planet? I announce, the deal is set. Lord of all Heaven Shop, Lord Hargray has already announced. From now on, the planet you discovered is yours. Just as Hargray's voice fell, Buluo flew in front of Chu Bei, cupping his fists and congratulating. And Chu Bei expressionlessly glanced at Hargray, slightly nodding. When these Realm Lords arrived, he already knew where Realm Lords were in Perfect World's cultivation system, roughly equivalent to the self-release realm. Friend, since you have the Whirling Beast Bone, you should also have the Whirling Beast Core, right? Hargray played with the Whirling Beast Bone in his hands. His gaze narrowed, landing on Chu Bei. Hearing Hargray's words, the expressions of the other Sector Lords in the hall all changed, their gazes landing on Chu Bei, their eyes filled with hope, their faces filled with anticipation. I've already used it. Meeting Hargray's gaze, Chu Bei smiled. He now knew why so many Sector Lords gathered here. So, it was all because of him. Used? Hargray frowned and his face darkened. He stared at Chu Bei and said, the Whirling Beast Pill is not an ordinary item. You can't use it, right? That's if it is. Even if he just stepped into the pinnacle of the universe level, he would die immediately if he swallowed the Whirling Beast Pill. Speak. Where is the core? Hand over the beast core, and I can bestow upon you a great opportunity and accept you as my disciple. The group of Sector Lords spoke out one after another, not believing Chu Bei's words. Now I know, these Sector Lords are all here for him. To be more precise, They are here for the whirling beast pill on him. But speaking of which, what use does the whirling beast core have? It can actually attract so many sector lords. I didn't think of it before, but now I understand a bit. Seems like my clan's records are true. As long as sector lords eat the whirling beast core, they can directly enter the undying realm. What? It actually has such a miraculous effect. Undying, this is a huge temptation. Doesn't this mean that the whirling beast core in his hands can't be hidden? After all, to sector lords, this is an opportunity to become undying. That's right, if it was me, I would do anything to get the whirling beast core. Within the shrine, the group of sector lords seemed to have understood too, their gazes all landing on Chu Bei. Some were watching a show, some with pity. Their thoughts were the same as the sector lords. The opponent was just a lucky bastard who met the whirling beast corpse. However, because he got something he shouldn't have, he was destined to be in big trouble. I'll repeat myself, there's no more beast core. Against the questioning gazes of the sector lords, Chu Bei's expression didn't change at all. However, his voice became lower, with a hint of cold in the forest. In truth, after killing the whirling beast, he immediately absorbed the energy within the core and poured it into Luo Feng's body. Under the nourishment of the whirling beast core, Luo Feng had already stepped into the star level and wasn't far from the universe level. How dare you? Do you know who we are? You dare speak like that? Hearing Chu Bei's words, the fire cloud sector lord immediately roared. His roar was like rolling thunder. The terrifying sound waves shook the space. Since you don't know what's good for you, then I'll personally search your soul. The fire cloud sector lord spoke and took a step forward. As the fire cloud sector lord's cold voice landed, his eyes spewed out purple flames towards Chu Bei. Wherever the flames passed, everything was distorted. The moment the purple flames covered the sky, the group of warriors in front of the shrine all felt their hearts tremble. They instinctively retreated, their faces filled with fear. As expected of the fire cloud sector lord, just a thread of purple flames in his eyes can suppress the godly energy within my body. How terrifying. Some star-level warriors were terrified. Could it be that this is how your Black Dragon Mountain Empire treats your guests? Seeing the fire cloud sector lord make his move, Chu Bei's face that didn't have a smile to begin with immediately darkened. When he came to this world, even buying a planet was done according to the rules, but the fire cloud sector lord was treating him like a soft persimmon due to greed. Accompanied by a cold snort, a ripple that was difficult to capture shot out from Chu Bei's eyes. In an instant, it dispersed the purple flames that were surging over. Seeing the flames disappear, the fire cloud sector lord's body suddenly shook, and a chill surged in his heart. However, before he could do anything, he suddenly found an invisible force that he couldn't resist enveloping him. Instantly, his body couldn't move, and his godly energy felt as though it was being restrained. He couldn't use it. What made him even more terrified was that the godly energy within his body was expanding at a terrifying speed. Rumble. Another earth-shattering sound rang out. Before the fire cloud realm lord could even let out a scream, his body suddenly exploded. In that instant, one could even see his soul being twisted and torn in his flesh. However, all of this happened in the blink of an eye. When the other sector lords reacted, the area where the fire cloud sector lord was at was already empty, and there was nothing left. What happened? Where's the fire cloud sector lord? Don't tell me what I just saw was real. Dead. Is the fire cloud sector lord dead? Impossible. He's a sector lord, one of the top 100 absolute warriors in the Black Dragon Mountain star field. With the explosion still lingering in their ears, the cultivators in the palace were stunned. Looking at where the fire cloud sector lord was at, they looked at each other, their eyes filled with disbelief. They couldn't believe that the scene they had just seen was real. The famous fire cloud realm lord had exploded with a bang just like that. Not only the star-level and universe-level spectators, even the sector lords including Hargray were all stunned, as though they had lost their souls. Chapter 566. What happened to Huoyun just now? It's him. It must be him. At this moment, the sector lords reacted and exclaimed. All of them stretched out their hands and pointed at Chu Bei from afar, their voices filled with terror. From start to finish, the only person who could possibly attack Hui Yun was this mysterious person who looked no different from an ordinary person. This lord has no intention of killing, but your words and actions have truly angered this lord. Chu Bei's cold gaze swept across the group of sector lords, including Hargrey. Cold in the forest's voice rang out again, entering the depths of everyone's mind. If it was anyone else, the Fire Cloud sector lord would have already invaded their consciousness and searched their soul. If it was light, they would lose their memories. If it was heavy, they would become a living dead. Pung pung pung. Following Chu Bei's indifferent words, another wave of ripples swept across the bodies of the sector lords like a cool breeze. Unlike the Fire Cloud sector lord who didn't even have time to scream, when this breeze swept across the group of sector lords, their expressions instantly twisted as though they had suffered unbearable inhuman torture. Following that, waves of mournful cries burst out from their mouths. In the next moment, their bodies seemed to have suffered a powerful blow as they flew out like cannonballs. They tore through the void and brought along dense spatial cracks. Witnessing the scene of the sector lords, including Hargrey, flying out, the faces of the onlookers in the hall instantly turned gray. The onlookers felt as though they had been struck by a bolt from the blue, but also as though a bucket of cold water had been poured over them from head to toe. Their entire bodies were numb. Everything happened too suddenly and unexpectedly, catching them off guard. Am I hallucinating? Heavens, that's a group of sector lords. Some experts sucked in a breath of cold air and cried out in alarm, as if they were struck by lightning. Owner of All Heaven's shop, was it you who attacked just now? Buluo's throat squirmed as he was dumbfounded. His brain had already lost the ability to think. He stood there like a piece of wood without moving. His two eyes stared blankly at Chu Bei as he moved the corners of his lips and asked tentatively. Chu Bei glanced indifferently at Buluo and said nothing. On the other hand, Buluo's body suddenly began to tremble when he met Chu Bei's gaze. Cold sweat uncontrollably flowed out from his forehead with a swoosh sound. His entire being seemed to have sunk into fear. Just a second ago, he only felt a force that made him unable to resist shrouding his body. This feeling was like a sharp blade on his neck. If he dared to even think about it, his head would be separated from his body. It was too terrifying. Where did that person come from? That scene earlier must have something to do with him. Lord Hargrey is one of the top 3 super existences. Even he was sent flying by the invisible force. It seems that his injuries are not light either. Furthermore, from the looks of it, he didn't even expend any effort. The feeling he gives me is that this group of sector lords are like ants in front of him. My God, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I really wouldn't believe it. I'm afraid that even if His Majesty were here, he wouldn't be able to do something like this. The crowd gradually recovered from their shock. When they looked at Chu Bei again, their gazes were filled with fear and respect. There was no lack of suspicions in the clamor. In the distance, the sector lords who were sent flying also stabilized themselves. All of them had blood at the corner of their mouths. Their auras were extremely weak. They looked at each other. Their gazes were filled with shock. After exchanging glances, they gathered together and flew back to the top of the palace. However, it was different from before. The arrogance that belonged to sector lords had disappeared. What replaced it was vigilance and seriousness. Their gazes were fixed on Chu Bei. Their entire bodies were as tense as a rock, and their hearts were as heavy as lead. If you dare to ask me about the beast cores again, you will end up like the people from before. Chu Bei's cold gaze swept across the group of sector lords. Although his voice wasn't loud, it sounded in the hearts of Hargrey and the rest. It was like thunder from the 9 heavens. Hearing Chu Bei's words, Hargrey and the rest of the sector lords looked at each other. No one dared to open their mouths. From his words, the one who heavily injured them was this mysterious person of unknown origin. He was also the one who killed the Fire Cloud sector lord. This time, they had all misjudged him. That irresistible strength, even from the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, they had never felt it before. Which meant the opponent's strength was even above their country leaders. Their country leader's strength was that of an official level Undying. The opponent's strength could very well be that of an Emperor level Undying. Hence, the matter of the whirling beast bones was concluded. The opponent wasn't lucky enough to pick up the body of the whirling beast. Instead, he had truly killed an adult whirling beast. Thinking up to this point, Hargray and the rest of the sector lords were filled with fear and joy. They had angered an Emperor level Undying and still managed to survive. An Emperor level Undying, even in the Ganwu universe country, that was a pinnacle existence. The Milky Way Empire was a low-level civilization country, with millions of planets similar to Earth. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire was a middle-level civilization country, with tens of thousands of subordinate countries like the Milky Way Empire. And the Ganwu universe country was a high-level civilization country, with over 13,000 star fields. Just like the Black Dragon Mountain star field, it was one of them. Looking at the entire Ganwu universe country, there were over 1 million sector lords. This great universe country leader was even the legendary Universe Knight. Even though there were tens of thousands of Undyings in the Ganwu universe country, Emperor-level Undyings were few and far between. For my friend to be able to buy a planet in my Black Dragon Mountain starfield, it is the Empire's greatest fortune. You should have been treated well, but instead, you were neglected by my stupid underlings. I hope you don't blame them. Just as the group of sector lords were still immersed in Chu Bei's strength, a faintly discernible yet majestic voice resounding in everyone's ears. After which, a silhouette appeared out of thin air. This was a middle-aged man, dressed in a golden long robe, with a golden crown on his head, releasing an unparalleled aura, as though he had been in a high position for a long time. Country leader, you've come out. Seeing the middle-aged man's appearance, including Hargray, the group of sector lords were all stunned, after which their faces were filled with respect, immediately bowing. My God, it's really the country leader. To be able to personally see the country leader again, it's the greatest fortune of my life. Before the country leader went into seclusion, he was already an official level Undying. Now that he's come out after 10,000 years, he should have already stepped into the Emperor level. If that's really the case, then our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's position in the Ganwu universe country's subordinate countries will rise again. Within the palace, the group of people quickly reacted, all kneeling on the ground and kowtowing towards the middle-aged man, their gazes filled with respect. Often, when a country falls, it's not because of the country leader, but because of a group of underlings who don't know their place. Chu Bei glanced indifferently at the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. This time, I'll let it go. If there's a next time, your Black Dragon Mountain Empire doesn't need to exist anymore. Arrogant. You actually... Sikong, shut up. Hearing Chu Bei's undisguised threat, Sikong immediately spoke out. However, the moment he opened his mouth, he was stopped by the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. My friend's words, I'll remember them. In the future, I'll definitely set rules to restrict them. After scolding Sikong, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader very politely cupped his fists towards Chu Bei. That's good. Chu Bei replied softly, nodding his head slightly. My friend, I think you've already stepped into the night level. Following the Black Dragon Mountain monarch's words, the group of sector lords behind him all went silent. What? Night level? How is that possible? Including Hargray and the group of sector lords, after hearing the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's words, their expressions all changed. Their eyes opened wide as they stared at Chu Bei, their eyes filled with disbelief. Universe Knight, what kind of concept was that? The leader of the Ganwu universe country was at that level. That was a high-level universe country, a supreme being. If these were just rumors, they would definitely scoff at it. However, these words came from their country leader's mouth. The truth was rather high. Universe Knight? Within the palace, the group of star-level spectators exchanged glances, their eyes filled with confusion. Obviously, at their level, they didn't have any concept of what a Universe Knight was. Babata raised his head and stared blankly at Chu Bei, not moving at all, just like a wooden man. The first time he saw Chu Bei, he knew he wasn't simple, especially after he attacked so many times. He was even more certain that he was as strong as his previous master. However, no matter what, he would never have thought that he was actually a universe knight. His previous master's strength was comparable to the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. However, in the eyes of a knight like the Ganwu universe country leader, he was no different from an ant. As for Luo Feng, he felt everyone's gazes towards Chu Bei, filled with respect and admiration. He felt an inexplicable sense of comfort. After all, he was Chu Bei's disciple. Universe Knight? Maybe. Towards the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's words, Chu Bei only smiled. According to the training system of the Swallowing Star Space and the Perfect World, the Sector Lord level was equivalent to the Self-Release Realm, and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader who was an official level Undying was equivalent to a level 6 Supreme. As for the so-called Universe Knight, it was equivalent to a complete Supreme. Currently, without relying on Xiao Hei's strength and the All-Heaven Merchant City, his own strength was at level 17 Pinnacle, similarly equivalent to a complete Supreme, only one step away from becoming a true immortal. My friend, do you need us to do anything for the ownerless planet you bought? From Chu Bei's words, after confirming his guess, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's attitude towards Chu Bei was obviously more respectful. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.